check out our washer dryer sets. They're pretty rad. Do not open my PowerPoint until it is time.
Okay, I didn't.
I'm just saying. I
Okay.
just had a
I like
feeling.
how Shannon tells us to do that, and you and I are like, too late, sorry. And
Oh wait, should we intro this bitch?
Yeah.
Hello. You're listening. Oh wait, should I wait? I just want to say it is 7:00 my time, and I've been writing this shit since 11. I just want everyone to know that. I took one break to eat some pasta, and that was it.
oh my god.
So I'm a little tired. I also
Yeah.
went outdoors today, so I have a sunburn,
Good.
which probably means I have sun poisoning because I'm a redhead. And
You're like, I went outside, therefore, obviously, I have sun.
clearly, therefore, I have a sunburn. Honestly, I didn't think about it, but I looked in the mirror and, like, my whole neck is sunburned, but then under my chin I had my mask, and so that part's, like, stark white, and then my face is bright red. I look like I have a white little beard.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Okay, Hannah, go do the intro.
Oh, okay, yeah, that can be a... Okay. Hello, welcome to the Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive. I'm Hannah, and I'm sunburned.
I'm Shannon. I can't handle this right now.
I'm Shelby, and I don't have anything interesting other than I just, I don't know, took a razor to my face and then put on lotion and it burns. So...
I just want to say that ever since I turned in my thesis, I really think I lost my mind a little bit. I told you guys
Yeah, you did.
Fun fact.
that
Yeah, Hannah finally
because I was like, that
Hannah
night
finished
I
her
was
thesis.
Googling what's in my freezer because I was hungry. But like Google didn't have the answer for me. And also I called my cat Becky for some reason. And that happened again recently. I called her Becky and I don't know why. I don't even know a Becky. I really don't know what's happening. I'm
The
seriously
moral of the
think
story,
something
though,
cracked.
You finished your thesis, or at least the first
I
draft.
did.
So,
I
yay!
finished the first draft. Yes.
Do you have
It's
any other
150
announcements?
pages. All,
Yeah.
all
Yay.
Yes.
Okay, Hannah, do you have any other announcements?
The hiking trail I went on today was called Farley Overlook, and
yeah.
I was really surprised that it didn't end in like a coffee shop where I could buy a baked good, because that is the Farley way. I texted a picture to my aunt, and she was like, "Was there not an indoor part?" And I was like, "No."
With the coffee shop, Shelby, I get to do it. I just told Shelby how you got your nickname. She didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah, she
I've
didn't
just
know
been
where Huda
calling
came
you
from.
Huna all these years, and I have no idea where that came from.
yeah, it's because the barista spelled my name wrong on a Starbucks cup.
We were assholes
And
in
anyway,
college.
literally my parents call me that. Everyone I know calls me that.
Your cousin
Actually,
I was
Kevy
gonna
called
say,
you that
in your,
during her
VSE, I think
VSE.
my
Kevy
cousin
called
Kevy,
me
are you
that.
fucking kidding me? My aunts and uncles call me that. It's like a big thing.
I
Although
was
my aunt...
literally just explaining it to Shelby, and I was like, I really want to tell this story on the podcast at some point, and it worked. Look at that. I'm manifesting shit.
Well, ugh, fuck you. But, yeah, it's like a really stupid story, but literally everyone calls me that. I'm not even joking.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Although I don't think any of my like main New Hampshire friends know about it, which is good. I mean, it
can
doesn't really
change
bother
that.
me.
Yeah, we can change that.
All right, good luck finding them, and see. Good luck for them to respond to you. Probably a better thing. My brain is really broken. Let's get moving. Shannon, what are your announcements?
My house might be haunted.
Oh
My
yeah.
apartment might be haunted. Okay, so this might be kind of long, and I'm sorry, but a lot happened in the last 24 hours, and I'm really tired. So, the last time we recorded, if you guys remember, I was annoyed because I couldn't get Ambien because my insurance was fighting me. Well, they ended up approving it at like 8 o'clock that night, so I've been on Ambien for 2 weeks, which has been great. I've actually been sleeping. And the only side effect I've had is dry mouth, which sucks. But that's the only side effect that I've had so far. But one of the side effects can be sleep paralysis and hallucinations. So, this morning, I think it was at like, I sent you guys that message at like 5:30 this morning, so I think it must have been like 4:30 or 5 that this happened. I was dead asleep. I was having some dream, and in the dream, just in the middle of this dream, a random dude walked up to me, and you know how sometimes in dreams you can't make out like facial features? I just had like legs and then like the semblance of an upper torso and a head was how this person came up to me in my dream. So yeah, it was great. And so he came up to me and he said, "Excuse me, Shannon," and then I woke up. Like immediately I woke up. And I was facing my bedroom door, I could see my bedroom door from my bed, which was normally, I sleep with it closed. But I could see the foot of my bed. There was a shadow figure of some kind, which I got the sense that it was a female. I don't know why. I just it's a female thing. And it was just standing at the foot of my bed and my door was open. And it kind of bowed its head in this apologetic, "Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you" kind of a thing. And then walked out and shut the door behind me. And then I woke up correctly, I guess, you know? I was more alert of what was going on and I could actually think, and the whole thing took 2 seconds. And so initially, my first thought was, who the fuck was in my bedroom? Because it wasn't either of my roommates, because my one roommate is gone for work, and the other one just, it wasn't her build, you know what I mean? It's it wasn't her. Plus she wouldn't come into my room at 5 o'clock in the morning for no reason.
Also, Maisie would have done something.
That was my next point. Maisie didn't react as if there was a person in my room, a human person in my room, because she normally is you guys know how she is. She's so fucking friendly. She wants to be friends with almost everybody, so she would have been all over them.
Yeah.
And my bedroom door is broken, like everything else in this apartment. My doorknob's busted, so I have to force my door shut and open, and I didn't hear it.
Shannon.
Shut. And so I was
Have you seen my doorknob? My doorknob, Shelby, if you don't know this, is a sock filled with other socks. And I don't have a lock on my door, clearly, so I use one of those little, eyelet locks that I put in myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even shut my door at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Anyway, don't want to hear it. Move on.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so, and then, I can hear people out in the hallway when they're walking, and I didn't hear anybody walking in the hallway after whatever it was left my room. And so I ruled out that it was an actual human being. Plus, I just got the feeling that it wasn't a live person, you know what I mean? I just didn't, I don't know, I just had this vibe off of it that was this was not a living person. It was weird. And so my next thought was, okay, I had sleep paralysis or I was hallucinating because of the Ambien. And that would be the most likely. Except a few seconds later, Maisie freaked the fuck out. She was asleep in her dog bed at the foot of my bed, and normally when she sleeps down there, she stays down there. I, and this was 2 seconds after I, fully woke up, I had sat up a little bit just to, look at the door and make sure it was actually closed all the way. And also keep in mind, it's dark in my room, and I didn't have my glasses on, so a lot of this was, guesswork. But, Maisie jumped.
Dude, I can't even see colors when my glasses are off.
Yeah, I barely
one time
can.
a bug man came to our apartment in Missouri. He's was the bug black or brown? I was dude, I could not tell you.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if my glasses are off. I would not be able to tell you. I probably wouldn't even be able to see the fucking bug. I can see 6 inches, maybe, in front of my face, and then after that, it's just a fuzzy blur of light.
I know, I
colors.
get the double vision, so I was was
Yeah.
it 4 bugs or 1 bug? I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Yeah, well, maybe, Shelby, you would have actually seen what the fuck it was, because I couldn't.
But also probably not, because I hallucinate hardcore all the time.
True.
Oh my god, we are so
so-
fucked up. Anyway.
And so, yeah, so I had sat up to look at the door.
I had to go off of Ambien because it gave me sleep paralysis. And
Yeah,
let me
this
tell
is
you,
the
that
only
is
time-
not fun.
But that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure if it's sleep paralysis because Maisie freaked the fuck out. So I sat up to look at the door. Maisie heard me sit up, jumped on my bed, shaking horribly, which she does when she's scared. And then, so like my bed's up against a wall, and I sleep on like the wall side. Like I sleep not like flush up against the wall, but I sleep closer to the wall. She burrowed herself between me and the wall and just sat there shivering. And then she kept looking over her shoulder at the door.
Fuck that.
And doing like her, like some dogs do like, like sometimes whenever dogs yawn, it's because they're anxious because they like whine at the end, you know?
Yeah.
She was doing that, but she wasn't panting. And she usually does that when she was scared. So that makes me uncomfortable because I was like, was she trying to be quiet? Like, so this all happened at like 5 o'clock this morning. I got her calmed down. She went right back to sleep. And then I like went on, I normally don't go on my phone when I wake up in the middle of the night because if I see the time, I don't go back to sleep. But I was like, I need to get on my phone and just like look at something else to like calm. I wasn't like upset or anything, but I was just like, I need to look at something else. And so I fell back asleep.
You needed a distraction.
Yes. And so I fell back asleep and woke up at like 8 o'clock like normal, so it was fine. So that happened this morning. And then later in the afternoon, Maisie and I were like roughhousing on my couch. That was whenever she was just sitting there with her mouth wide open waiting for me to put my hand in there so she could bite me. But she all of a sudden just stopped dead, looked over my shoulder, and then followed a path over my head. And she did that twice in a, like, she followed it once and then looked back and followed it again. And I was like, what the fuck are you looking at? There's nothing back there. So that happened. And then later our umbrella stand just rattled for no reason, which also scared her because she's afraid of the umbrella stand.
Look, they're scary things, okay?
So I don't
There's probably
know.
like a bogart or something in there.
I don't know.
Bogart, however the fuck you say it.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening in my
thanks.
apartment because I've been here for 6 months. Nothing remotely weird like this has ever happened.
Well,
And then this all happened. Oh, and then also, like, I found out this week that my apartment is apparently on at least 3 different circuit breakers. Like, different parts of the apartment are wired to different places. And we randomly lost power to, it was our laundry closet, and then all the outlets in my room and my roommate's room. That randomly went out this week. So I don't know if that's related or if that was a coincidence or what, but
The power went
I'm just
out.
gonna give you a blanket term here
demon
to
was
apply to your
released.
life.
yes.
Ghosts.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't know if
It's
somebody,
always the ghost.
I don't know if somebody in the building used a Ouija board or like what the fuck is going on because I fucking didn't.
Oh my god.
But
I sent you guys the picture of the headstone that's in our basement, right?
yes, you did.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That your cousin uses for something.
For something. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, your house is haunted.
yeah, probably. I don't know why, because nothing's happened for 6 months. I told my mom all this today, and she was like, they're probably just cold, and they need to move around to keep themselves from getting too cold. Because it's so fucking cold outside.
I love your mom.
Oh, she's great.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
I thought of another announcement.
okay, go ahead.
I'm fully vaccinated from
Yay!
COVID.
I'm
It
in,
wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I think I'm in
I
the
got
next...
the Pfizer one.
Yeah, I think I'm in the next phase.
The invalid phase.
Yeah, pretty much the young invalid phase. Because if I was older than 65 with my current ailments, I could get it. But because I'm not, I can't get it yet. So, it's for the young invalids.
You should start a band called the Young Invalids. Maybe a play on the Young Dubliners. I would really, really like it.
Oh, man. Yeah. Also,
I'll be your
we're in
manager.
Also, we're in a polar vortex. So, there's that. For
Yeah,
the
we're supposed to
entire
get a
week.
second nor'easter.
Mhm.
Not even a second. It's like, whatever. Probably the 5th at
It's
this
just
fucking point.
It's just a continuous one at this point.
Yeah, the hike I went on this morning, I was following cross-country ski trails. I was in like a foot of snow. Oh well, I had a good time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as long as you had fun.
Although I did smell my monkey brain turned on because I smelled something and I was like, that is an animal and I must leave. So I turned around and left. It just smelled like something big. It wasn't like a skunk or
Yeah.
you can't smell a squirrel, but it was like
Yeah.
something big and I was like, oh god, gotta go.
Yeah.
And we do have moose, so I got worried.
A moose. Could have been
Yeah.
a bear.
Yeah.
I don't know if a bear would be, well, maybe. I was literally on the beach, so who knows?
Who knows? Shelby, do you have any announcements?
No.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's start
We're
this.
already 15 minutes
I
in,
guess I was
so-
in Georgia last week and things
Oh, yeah.
happened, but yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. I'll ask you about that later.
Yep, that's a not on record thing.
Nope. I meant to
Cut
ask
it
you
out.
earlier and I forgot. Okay. So are we good to move on to the topic? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Did we do the intro?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Hannah, can we open the PowerPoint now?
Yes, but
Where
please
is
just
it?
stay on the first slide.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
It's February,
Here, I'll actually put it in presentation mode so I can't look ahead.
Yes.
which means one thing.
Okay.
Hold
You
on.
ready?
Presentation
Go to the next
mode.
slide.
Yes!
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Yes!
I picked it, 1, because it did happen in February, and 2, because it's been in the news recently.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yay!
friends, today we are talking about the Dyatlov Pass.
Okay, I understand why it took you 8 hours to do this.
Yes.
I wanted to make it right, okay?
Yes.
I have a
Also,
lot of
Hannah
feelings
has
about
strong
this.
feelings about this, and
Yes.
we may or may
Literally-
not have gotten into a little bit of an argument about it.
You guys don't even know my feelings for this, because you know what? You'll see in a minute. So, alright, so time for the Dyatlov Pass. Alright, so
Okay, I
really
just have
only
to
use-
say, I want this to be the title slide on Instagram. It doesn't have to be, but I want it to be.
Oh
so
yeah,
bad.
please. It's let's explain it. So the background is like a bunch of hearts that are kind of blurry and cute, and then it written in cursive is "It's February," which means one thing. Dyatlov Pass, and then Dyatlov Pass is by itself, but it says bitches, and it's great. Anyway, all right. So I used Wikipedia and the Dyatlov. It's called DyatlovPass.com, and it is such an amazing source. I've actually been using it for my thesis because it's one of the few places I can find historical photographs of the town that I was writing about.
Ooh.
Because the town that I was writing about is Ivdel, which we're going to talk about in a second, but it's like fucking impossible to find old-timey photos from Soviet
Weird.
Russia. Why
Yeah.
is that?
Gee, I wonder.
Soviet Russia.
Anyway, so I've been using that website a lot to help me with like descriptions of buildings and such. Anyway, we can go to the next slide. So, in February of 1959, a group of mostly students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute set out on a skiing expedition in the northern Ural Mountains in the oh god, okay, so it's gonna be really hard for me because I'm so dyslexic. Sverdlovsk. The problem with Russian is that there are so many fucking consonants together
Yeah.
that
Yep.
it just breaks my mouth because I already have a problem with S's and like, anyway. So anyway, in the
Sverdlovsk.
Yes, Oblast of the Soviet Union. So basically, it's like, did I put a picture of that in here? Oh my god. By the way, everybody, I have 39 slides.
That's
That'll be
no.
a long one.
how many did I have for Watergate? I think I had like 26 or 27 for Watergate. So, and that's been my longest one by far. So this should be fun.
Listen, I
Yeah,
just
we
love
do
a PowerPoint and you know
because
it.
I am an underachiever.
You do you, girl.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like, I just think, yeah, I don't know. I just like them. Just like them, not dislike them. Sorry. Anyway, Hannah, continue.
So it's kind of in okay, so if you know where the Ural Mountains are, if you like look them up on a map, it's like directly east of that. And it's in the north, but not north. It's like in
The southern part of the north.
the southern part of the north. It's like the middle part. So like in the middle, but on the eastern side of the mountains is where this takes place. So the
sorry,
reason...
real quick. I just looked it up. It's in a similar latitude line to like Norway-ish, like the main chunk of Norway.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then longitude. Wait, so that's latitude, and then longitude. I believe it's the same as like Anchorage, Alaska. I could be wrong, but I believe I looked that up the other day.
That
for a
would still
different
be
thing.
latitude.
No, the other way, longitude. You
Is
can
it-
go in a circle, Shannon. in a circle around the Earth. Latitude goes up like a ladder.
Yes, I know. That's why.
I'm
Hang
saying
on.
longitude.
Yes.
What?
Anyway.
I'll
Fighting
believe you.
about?
No, we're not. I'm just confused.
So
whatever,
because I was
it
trying to
doesn't
see. Okay, here's what I was trying to do, and this is why it's confusing you. I was trying to see if where I lived was anywhere close to the like weather of that place of Ivdel,
Okay.
but it's not because it's Ivdel is way farther north than
Yes.
Berwick, Maine.
Yes.
I just told everyone where I live. Whatever, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You'll never find me in this crack house that I live in.
I was gonna say everyone knows where I live.
Yeah, me too.
So what I did was I tried to find the nearest point of reference for myself, which would be an American city. So Anchorage, Alaska, was
Okay.
the closest American city longitudinally to Ivdel, Russia. Does that make sense? Okay, here's why my thesis took so fucking long. It's because I get so wrapped up in the research aspect
Yeah.
that I will spend days looking for like a specific thing like that. Like, where longitudinally have I been that is the same as this place that I could reference it for something else? Like, it anyway, it's just
I
it's
need
such
to
a
see this
crippling
on a
thing that I
globe. I
have.
think
It's
that's
this
why I'm
like
confused.
horrible anxiety that I have that
Yeah.
I can't be wrong.
Yeah, dude,
Anyway.
trust me, I understand that.
It's really crushing me as
Yeah.
a writer.
Yeah.
I just need to take a break and write some like magical realism shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay,
You make
but
up
even
your
when I
own
did-
research.
Exactly, but I'm just thinking now, even when I did write something about magical realism, that was magical realism, not about it. I ended up doing research on Boy Scout troops in Southern Illinois.
Okay.
I really have a problem.
It's fine. I understand.
I can't be wrong. It really hurts me. Okay, fuck that. Moving on. So, 20 to 25 minutes of this is just going to be me, like, telling you all of my anxieties.
It's fine.
This is my therapy time, okay?
Dude, I spent... that's all this is. It's us working
This
out our
is group
anxieties.
I'm over here wringing my hands like a little... I'm so nervous.
Are you guys okay?
I'm so sweaty. Okay.
Do I
Dude,
need to be worried about you guys?
No. This is me with controlled anxiety.
Okay.
This is me. Like I said, I'm at the point in the writing process where I'm like really slap happy, so I can't really control myself. I should get like a weighted blanket on or something. That's what we use on the kids when their bodies are in the yellow zone. Okay. So anyway, the
That's what I
reason
use
this
to
group was... Sorry, what?
That's what I use to sleep, because otherwise I can't.
Yeah, mine stopped working for me. It just made me really hot. So,
Mine's just really heavy and I don't know where it is.
No, I
Mine's on the
have to
floor.
have either a weighted blanket or I have to pile 6 different blankets on top of me because I have to have weight of some sort on top of me. It's not an anxiety
like to
thing.
be
I just have
cold,
to have
so-
weight on me.
yeah.
I sleep with my window wide open and one leg out of the blanket just in case.
You'd love my room then. I was telling Shell before you got here, I'm pretty sure my bedroom doesn't have insulation. Because it's fucking freezing in
Honestly,
here.
dream situation.
It's so
Right.
fucking cold in here.
No, I need my room to be freezing.
I mean, I do too when I sleep, but it's like, it's
That's why
bad.
there's so much noise in here, because my window's wide. I'm gonna jump
One
across
day.
my bed really quick
Yeah, you're
and shut it, so you're gonna hear a lot of noise because I have
That's
an old
okay.
brass bed.
One day we'll get through this first slide. Oh man, this is what happens when we go too long between recording.
It's only been like 2 weeks.
I know, but apparently that's a
man.
problem.
There's
Right.
crumbs on the floor.
Allie just sent me a Snapchat of her poking my mom in the face with a crab leg.
Ew. I hated everything about that sentence.
She sent me a picture of your mom yesterday with
Uh-huh.
like holding a
Oh, the
picture
George
of George
Clooney?
Clooney.
Yeah,
And she was
apparently
like,
that came in the
Mom
mail.
had a picture of George Clooney. Your mom looked like so happy.
Yeah, apparently that came with the AARP mailer this month.
Dude, I told you I get them AARP membership shit things, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let's see this video Allison sent.
It's the same one I just got.
Oh, I know. Oh
Yeah.
god, that makes me uncomfortable.
She lives to torment our mother.
No, I
Alright,
don't.
we
I
are
don't
26
like that.
minutes in and we haven't even talked about what the fuck this is.
That's okay. Let's keep keep going. We can do this.
Like I said, this is going to be hella long.
I
And
know.
you know what? Feel free to break it up into 2 episodes. We'll see. All right. So,
Ugh.
oh my God. The reason this group went on this expedition was because they were trying to earn their grade 3 certification for skiing or
Yes.
mountaineering. I'm not really sure which one. It was confusing on the website.
Yeah.
But basically, they were all very avid outdoors people, and they were all part of a sports club, either in their town or from the Polytechnical Institute. And they were trying to get the certification because then they would achieve the highest one that the Soviet Union had at the time.
Okay.
So to do that, they had to travel 300 kilometers via skis. So they designed this course, and Dyatlov was one of the people who designed it. He was the leader of this group. That's why it's named after him, the incident. We're gonna talk about him in a second. But they designed the course so that it would take them through the mountains of
Sverdlovsk.
Thanks. I can say it in
Also,
my
I'm
head,
probably
but I
saying
haven't
that wrong. If you're Russian, I'm
Probably
sorry,
not.
but it is the closest approximation we will get
Yeah.
from my, very basic knowledge of Russian that I do know.
Here's my 15th anxiety that we're going to talk about. Reading out loud.
Yes.
Anyway, so through that oblast, which is like a state region in February, because it was considered the most difficult time to do that, and that would earn them their certification, because they were like, look, we did a challenge. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
So it was approved by the committee, and also the city name changed, so it used to be called that other name, but now it's called Ekaterinburg. So the city committee. Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
The committee. The city committee of physical culture and sport. That's what they're called. Holy shit, I'm so tired. The city committee.
I don't even think it's funny. I'm just laughing because you're laughing.
So they have a committee on physical culture and sport, basically.
Yes.
And their trip was approved by them. They were all deemed to be fit, and like they had all their supplies, and they had the route planned, and they had all the preparations made. They even had a treasurer, so they had it all done. And so they were like, "Yeah, you can go." All right,
Cool.
So let's talk about the people now. So this first, you guys can go to the next slide. This is Igor. So the group was led by Igor I swear to God. I know all these names. I know how to say all of these names. I know how to say all these Russian towns. But for some reason, reading out loud literally breaks my brain. Okay, Igor, that's supposed to say, I think, maybe not.
Is that supposed to be a K?
I think it might be. I'm going to double check.
So Igor Alexeyevich Dyatlov?
I'm going to double check. Hold on.
Or Alexeyevich, actually.
Where he at? Yeah, that's supposed to be a K.
Yeah. So Igor
what I figured.
Alexeyevich
Yeah,
Dyatlov.
so Igor Alexeyevich Dyatlov. He was a 23-year-old student from the 5th Faculty of Radio Engineering at the Ural Polytechnical Institute. And he was actually a super talented engineer. Like, he was kind of a prodigy almost. He designed the radio that the group had with them. And he also invented the stove that was used in the tents. He
dang.
started... What?
Well, dang.
I know, and he, was doing this as, before this, he was building stuff as a child. Like, one time he was on a trip with his brother, who was older than him and was also a student at the UPI, and they didn't have a radio with them, so Igor was like, oh, I'll just, make a radio, and he was maybe... I don't remember. He was like a teenager or like a preteen at the time, and he just built a radio out of nothing and was like, "Here you go, guys." And they were like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And radios were super hard to come by at the time in this part or wherever they were, and because probably they were out in the fucking woods, whatever. But he built them a radio and was like, "Oh, no big deal." So anyway, he was a very gifted person. So, he was called friendly, reliable, brilliant with radios, a good photographer, and a great leader. All right, so
I didn't realize he was that young.
They're all so young.
Like, I know this story. I just don't think anybody's ever told me their ages.
Oh, well, get ready for the next one.
Yay!
It's like,
Alright.
I knew they were all, like, students.
Yeah.
But,
Not all students, but
yeah, but,
they're
like,
very young,
Yeah, I just
but,
didn't make
like,
that
my
connection.
whole,
except for one of them.
and, like, yeah, I went to college, but I don't associate, like, my age back then with the age that they were.
Mhm.
I don't know
Like,
why.
I was just thinking about this, and I'll talk about it later. You know what? I'll just talk about it later. Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay.
That
So this
works.
is Luda. So her name is Ludmila Alexandrovna.
Alexandrovna.
Dubinina. And she was 20. Like,
Jesus.
she was a baby.
Yeah.
Literally an infant. So she was the youngest in the group, and she was a 4th-year student at UPI, and she was studying engineering and economics. She loved sports. She was super sporty. She had been in a bunch of running competitions in her, in her state, and I don't know if she won any of them, but she was, like, a good runner. She was very active and participated in the Institute's sports clubs and had considerable mountaineering experience. Actually, one time, when she was on an expedition, the group of students was accompanied by a hunter, and he ended up shooting her in the leg on accident.
Oh my god.
I know. And she walked all the way back. She was like, yeah, whatever.
Oh my god.
Just kept going, even though she was in, like, a ton of pain and, like, shot in the leg.
I love Russians.
I know. God, they're so great. And I heard this somewhere else, but it could just be hearsay, so I'm just adding that as a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I heard that she, on the way back, comforted the idiot who shot her. I was like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. But, like, she was, oh my god. Anyway, so she was great. She loved to sing and take pictures, and she also kept a diary while on the expedition. One time she was on a different expedition, one that she was leading with some friends and some people who weren't as experienced as she was with, like, hiking and mountaineering and stuff. And her friend Galina Kironova Batlova recalls that, quote, Luda proved herself to be a wise, firm, and thoughtful and fair leader. She always... God, I can't fucking read. She was always attentive to us, the beginners, and helped us with anything. She was so excited that she was approved to go with Dyatlov and was kind of inspired, anxious, training, getting ready. She was a strong person, with both physically and spiritually. All right. Sorry, I don't know if that quote's exactly how I copied it, but a lot of these articles that I was reading... No, listen to me. A lot of these articles that I was reading were definitely put through Google Translate. So
Yeah.
there's
I was
some
gonna
things that are
say,
weird.
however that got translated was not right, but
I could have copied it wrong. It was probably translated wrong.
I'm gonna say it was the translation.
We can go to the next slide. All right, so it's about to get really confusing, so I've numbered these people.
Okay.
This is Yuri number 1. There's gonna be a lot of them. So Yuri Nikolaevich Doroshenko was 21. He was a 4th-year radio engineering student at UPI. He was kind of known as being impulsive, and I don't know if that means something different in Russian, but they said that one time he ran at, quote, a giant bear with a geology hammer during a camping trip with the Institute's hiking club. So I wouldn't really, call that impulsive, more just, like, psychotic. You guys know what a geology hammer is, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
What
one of
is
those
a
little
geology
tiny
hammer?
hammers with, like, a beak. Like, it's little. It's
Oh!
It's like the archaeology, like,
Yeah,
tool.
Oh,
like,
okay. I was envisioning like
tiny-
a pickaxe.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, a pickaxe, but shrink it down.
Oh God.
To, like...
He ran at a bear, which it said a giant bear, but other reports say it was probably like a Kodiak bear, which is fucking huge.
And I mean, it's not like bears as a rule are small. Like,
No,
if you have to say a large bear, you know that they mean a large
I wouldn't
bear.
even go at a
At a
even go
small
at a koala
bear.
I'm
with a-
just
Yeah.
gonna reiterate my statement. I love Russians.
Yeah,
They're
they're
crazy and they're awesome.
Crazy.
That's a very broad generalization, but you know
I know.
what I mean.
That's why I write about them, because I find them so fascinating.
I'm sure they would welcome it.
Just creep on all of Russia. Okay, so Yuri number 1, actually, at that moment when he chased the bear away with the hammer, one of the other hikers, Xena, fell in love with him, and they dated for a while.
Cool.
I mean, that's what I would do.
I know. What?
That's what I would do. I'd be like, look at him attacking that bear with a giant,
clearly
with a tiny little
hammer.
I know. He's clearly the alpha. I must go to him. So they eventually broke up before they went on this expedition, and he was probably the one who broke it off, but we're not really sure why. But they were still really friendly with each other, and I'll talk about it later. But he was probably the tallest in the group, which I don't know why that was a fact that was in my research, but yes, he was the tallest of the group.
Wikipedia had a separate fact for the fact that Nikola Tesla had big thumbs, so like it's fine.
Well, that wasn't in Wikipedia, it was in another thing I read. It was in the Dyatlov Pass
still
reading that I've done.
You never know, it might be useful. And I have to say, from his picture, I don't know why, but he looks like he was tall. You know what I mean?
He does.
Oh, I know. His face is really long.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
He looks really lanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that one, not the one where he's like in the snow, but the other picture of him in the like striped shirt, for some reason, when I look at that, I'm like, oh, he's a sailor. Why?
I think he looks like a criminal. Like, that's his mugshot. It's like all of the pictures of him are with that face, except this was the only one, the sepia one was the only one I could find where he's smiling.
Yeah.
It's like, wow,
maybe that's just his face.
I guess he just has that Slavic, I am so sad all the time.
Yeah.
Appearance.
Oh my god. So when I was home for Christmas, we looked through like old family photos, some of which somehow Allie and I had never seen. Those are the ones where we discovered my mother was a pom-pom person when she was in middle school. And the pictures of her mom, which my mom's mom died in like 1987, so I never met her. But in all of them, she looked really annoyed or like really mad. And I was like, did you guys do something? And my mom was like, no, that was just her face. So I get it from someone.
Was she German?
Huh?
Was she German?
Not from Germany, but we are very German.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah. So I get it from somewhere.
I know, I have the sad, my whole family died in the potato famine long stare.
I just always look like I'm 2 seconds away from crying, so...
I look like I'm 2 seconds away from murdering people, apparently.
I don't know where she's about to kill someone,
though,
and Shelby looks like she's about to burst into tears. Shelby, I think it's because you have big eyes. Like, not in a bad way, just like big puppy dog eyes.
I do. You're right. But, I don't know, I just always look like I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Like, to the point that I had people, like, when I worked at the restaurant, and I'd, like, hold the door open for someone, and they'd turn to me and be like, you need to smile, life's not that bad. And I was like, this is just my face. And they're like, but you look like you were gonna cry. Or, like, people ask me if I'm okay all the time.
Oh, they ask me
I'm
that,
like,
too.
Me too.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, because you just looked like you were about to cry. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah, they tell me that, but they think I look really mad. And I'm like, dude, I'm just sitting here.
I'm like, that's just my face, okay?
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway.
All right, so Yuri number 1 with the long face.
Yes.
He was the tallest of the group. He probably was poor. I don't know. My reading kind of suggested that. I kind of threw it in there. I need another adjective. And he was pretty shy. And also, this is just a side note. His clothes weren't very suitable for the weather. He didn't I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but his clothes weren't suitable for the weather. I'm not laughing at the fact that they all died. Anyway.
He's like
I'm just slap happy.
Soviet Union equivalent of people who are walking around outside in shorts right now.
Yeah, like a dude bro in like sliders and shorts, and he's like, it's not even that cold. And it's like, it's 25, you idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't think he did it on purpose, but...
Yeah.
Sorry, Yuri number 1. All right, go to slide number 8, because Shannon, I see that you're like 14 slides behind.
I am? I'm in presentation mode.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
on slide
I don't
8.
know.
Yeah, I'm actually doing.
Okay.
I'm actually going through this how you're supposed to, and not reading your notes.
Oh, good. Well, some of them are pretty funny. I'll let you know when to look at them.
Okay.
All right, maybe I'll
I'm
come
just
back.
reading the notes so that I can read the names.
Yes. We might. No, we'll just go with it. Sasha's is going to be kind of long. Okay, this is Sasha number 1 because obviously there's going to be more than one.
Obviously.
Everyone is named Alexander or their middle name is Alexander. So, Alexander Sergeyevich Kolevatov. Yes, Kolevatov. He had a super fucked up life. Like, it was
Great.
just very tragic. He was really sick as a child and didn't attend school regularly. So his sister Rima actually taught him. Rima? Yeah, Rima. There's 2 M's, so the I would be short. I have to teach myself phonics every day. Kind of taught him and took care of him. His dad started out as a financial director, and I don't know if that's true, because this is one of those articles that was translated back into Russian, and they had the word there in Russian next to it, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna fuck with it. It said financial director in English, but I don't know what that means, or if that's even true.
Okay.
Actually, can I just read you part of this?
Yes.
I just want to read you part of this. I have to find it really quick.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. It'll take me 2 seconds. Hold on.
No, you're fine.
It was just so funny. I literally called Emma to ask her, what does this mean? Because I couldn't figure it out. Well, this sentence is just ordinary boy from ordinary college with ordinary performance. That's the whole sentence. But that's not the one I'm looking for.
I've definitely
Can
translated
that
from
be...
Russian.
I'm going to need someone to put that as their Tinder profile.
Ordinary boy with from ordinary college with ordinary performance. Okay, that's not the one I was looking for. It's something about his dad. Okay, here it is. 1941, war started. The camp in the Gulag where Kolevatov's stay become on the first camps for Germans and one of the most horrible ones. But it is still, quote, okay for Koletov family, if it is possible to say okay in this situation. At least they had enough food to survive. Suddenly, everything crashed. Sorry, then the rest isn't really funny. Then they went to a hell. Sasha was almost 10 years old. How do he survive this situation?
Oh my god.
Anyway, let me tell you what actually happened.
Yes,
So-
please. Oh, man.
Anyway, I was reading that, and that's why it took me so goddamn long to write this, because I was like, I don't know what this means. So basically, what I could pull out of this was that his father was a financial director. I keep saying that. Director of something or somewhere. And he would have been one of the first people killed in the purges, like Stalin's purges, but he ended up taking a job at a gulag, or he was forced to work there. I'm not really sure. He wasn't a prisoner, though. That is for certain, because, and I quote, oh god, I gotta find it. This is the funniest part. The whole family moved to this place, too. Maybe this decision saved his life. In Gulag, but not prisoner. Of course, he was member of elite group there, but surroundings of his family changed a lot. Guardians are different from most prisoners only because they can kill. Prisoners can be killed. What? Like, literally, I had no idea what he was talking about. When it said guardians, I think it means that he went there to work as a guard.
Or like a warden or something.
Yeah, but he probably was not in charge of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was probably part of the NKVD, which was like the precursor to the KGB, and they like ran the prison system. So he was probably worked for the NKVD, or yeah, that's probably what he did. So anyway, the whole family moved to this like outside the Gulag, and his dad was working there as a guard. I don't know. But when World War II started, the camp became a POW camp for Germans, and the family, which was a family with 5 kids, like Sasha was the youngest, and he had all older sisters. They didn't have a whole lot of food, so they were kind of starving, and it sucked. And then suddenly his father's body was found, maybe hit by a train. I don't really know. and there was no investigation conducted. They were like, so sad, too bad. And Sasha was 9.
Oh, God.
So they lost their income and their social position and their food because Sasha's mother was so sick that she couldn't work. So they all almost starved to death.
Great.
Woohoo! Anyway, let's see. Moving on. So somehow they survived.
Yeah.
There was like a bunch of missing information. But after the war, Rima began working as a school teacher, and she's actually really famous, his sister, because she's a famous teacher because she started this school it was basically like one of the first behavioral intervention programs for special ed.
Oh.
Because, like, usually, back in those days, and especially in Russia, because my friend Simon told me all about this. Oh my god, I sound like I'm high because I'm just... Anyway, so basically, like, children with special needs would just be shut away somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And that was definitely the case in the U.S., and especially the case in Soviet Russia. Like, we don't have problems here. Look how great our city is.
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind of famous because she started these behavioral intervention programs. Anyway, moving on. Ordinary boy, ordinary student.
Ordinary performance.
Sasha eventually got into the school that Rima was teaching at. Not the special ed one, but like when she was starting out as a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of a shit student. But he eventually got into college where he continued to be a shit student until he joined the Commissal, which is basically like the Young Democrats, but instead it's for communists. And if you want to be in the Communist Party, you kind of have to be in it to begin with. It's like your starter pack.
Yeah.
For communism. I don't know. So anyway, after that, his grades improved dramatically.
Interesting.
So I guess that's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, his is going to be the longest, like, I don't know, profile, because there's about to be some really weird shit that I didn't know where else to put.
Okay.
So here we go. 1. All right. So after he joined the Commissal, he was sent to Moscow to work for the Secret Institute, which I don't really know what it is, but it translated to the... I can't even... It translates to the Ministry of Medium Machine Building.
Weird.
I don't know what that means. Later on, I have a better word for it, but I just left that in because I was like, what the fuck? The Ministry of Medium Machine Building.
Was that like a cover name?
They build medium machines?
That seems so unnecessary.
I'm literally crying. No, that's not what it was. It was kind of like a... hold on, let me jump ahead. It was... You stay where you are. It was basically an unnamed atomic institute in Moscow.
Okay.
But the way it translated
Yeah.
was the Medium Machine Institute.
Interesting.
Or wait, the Ministry of Medium Machine Building. Maybe that was like the cover name for it. They're like, yes, we build medium-sized machines.
Yes.
Check out our washer-dryer sets. They're pretty rad. But anyway, so this was kind of weird because one, he was given this job. I don't know that he actually went to it, but he was given this job almost a year before he graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. And this was, I'm gonna just go on like nothing happened. This job was like a really high security job because it was working with the, atomic shit. I don't know, science, whatever. But he wasn't really an official communist at this point. He was kind of like fast-tracked because remember his dad kind of lost his status during the Great Purges when he went to go work for the NKVD. But then he was like all of a sudden in this high-ranking position. I don't know if it's high-ranking, but like this prominent position where he had a lot of state secrets suddenly, and he was like barely a communist. I don't know. So it's kind of weird, like that sort of fast track that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I should have just read my own notes. It says his dad was kind of in trouble for being part of the bourgeoisie. Wow, wish I could read, guys. Okay. The other thing is that he was only 19 years old when he got this job and was sent to like this amazing apartment in Moscow. Like, you can look it up. It's like really nice. But I wouldn't trust a 19-year-old to use a microwave, let alone have state secrets and like atomic power.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, no thanks. Whew. Anywho, the article said that he was a, quote, secret keeper, which the only thing I can think of with that is Harry Potter.
Yep.
So I was like, does he just like know where the building is? I don't know. But I think it means that he was part of the secret police. So he was probably involved with, and then I wrote the Cheka, the NKVD, or the KGB, or whoever the fuck was running the country, because I didn't really know.
Yeah.
It changed all the time.
Yeah. Real quick, Shelby, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
No, I'm just screaming into the microphone. She probably left. You know what? I'm not even going to read this.
This is a completely and utterly random side note, but do other people understand Russian names and how they work? Or
I mean, I do.
asking-
I can't speak for the general
like
population.
the whole like
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I'll
his name
explain
is
that.
Alexander, but everyone calls him Sasha because Sasha
Okay, yeah. Well,
in
Sasha's
Russian is
Sasha's
the shortened version of Alexander.
Yeah, okay, so you have 3 names in Russian. You have your first name, which is your given name. You have your second name, which is your patronymic name. It just basically means it's your father's name. And then you have your last name, which is, it really depends on the time that you were named, because it can either be your grandfather's name, or it can be just like a random last name, like how we have last names.
Yep.
But then at home and with your friends, you have a nickname. So like, Sasha or Alexander's can be like Sasha's, they can be Alexi's, they can be Alex, like they can be whatever.
That's true, because
but-
Alexei was the Romanov one.
Yep. Yeah, so it just depends on what your family calls you, but yeah, so like if you were in public at like school or something and you were talking to your professor, they would, well, no, they probably wouldn't call you that. If you're talking with like a work friend, they would call you Alexander Sergeyevich, because that's just like the polite thing to do. And then, yes, I've read so much about the patronymic naming system.
But yeah, so like that one,
Tattooed in my brain.
Sergeyevich, his father's name would have been Sergey.
Yeah, his father's name would have been Sergey.
But
And it depends on
to
where you're
make it
from in the
that, like-
country.
Yeah, it depends on what
Yeah.
ending
It
they
depends
put on
on-
it.
It depends on where you're from, what it ends in, whether it's a vowel or a consonant, if you're a male or a female, if
Yeah.
you are somehow Ukrainian, because that makes it completely fucking different.
What time period? Look,
Anyway, the
Russian
time
names are just
period.
complicated, okay? You gotta know the rules though.
I did. Okay. Those are the rules.
Anyway, I just wanted, because I'm sitting here and like I have the notes pulled up so that I can read the names, and I was like, Sasha, Alexander, and I was like, I wonder if other people understand that. So
Yes.
sorry.
So that's why I call
Side
him
note.
Sasha #1, because everyone called him Sasha. That was his nickname.
Yep.
That was like his, like, we don't really have an equivalent of it. It's like if your name is Timothy, but everyone calls you Tim.
Or like Allie
Yeah,
and
Except
Allison.
not really. Well, yeah.
Except not
Allie.
really, yeah. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, it's
But, like-
kind of like the shortened version of your name, but only
it's also
people who are
not.
like familiar with you would call you that. Like
Yeah,
people
because
that you
it
are
would-
friends with
because
or family.
even
Is it-
names that like for us wouldn't have a diminutive, they give them a diminutive. Like, so
Yeah.
Hannah would have a diminutive, even though it doesn't actually have
Yeah.
one. Like, no one calls me Han. Like, that's
People call me Shan.
well, you're special, and I don't know what to tell you.
Is it the same concept as how there's like formal and informal U's in German, or in
Yeah,
German and Spanish?
kind of.
Same
Kind of.
concept,
But it's
Okay.
just with your name.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, so like
yeah.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of.
That's like the closest equivalent I can think
don't
of.
want to use the word. It's like because the connotation that comes with it in English, but it's kind of like your intimate name. It's like people who know you well would call you that.
Yeah,
They
it's
have
your
that.
it's your home and best friend name.
Yeah.
Like, even if you went to school with some people, like, you might not know him as Sasha. You might just know him as, oh, that's Alexander Sergeyevich. Like, you don't call him Sasha because you're not that close of friends with him.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say this other thing, but I don't really. Again, it came from that article that had gone through the Google Translate machine a couple too many times. But basically, maybe one time he went on a hiking trip with some people who were part of a secret organization, but who really knows? There's like a list of names if you want to read them. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, honestly, it was speculation, I think.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. Let's talk about Xena. So Xena, how would you say that?
Zinaida.
Zinaida Alexeyevna Kolmogorova. Okay, that's the other thing. If you're female, your last name ends in an A. To make it so much more confusing. Anyway, she was 22. She was a fifth-year student studying radio engineering. She was an experienced hiker, like they all were. These poor women on this trip. One time she was bitten by a viper on her trip, and she didn't want to burden anyone with her pack. So she's like, don't worry about it. I will carry it. And so she wouldn't let anyone help her. It's not that she wouldn't let anyone help her. She just didn't want anyone to have to, like, carry her load for her. Even though she was, like, in immense pain because she had just been bitten by a fucking snake. She was like, it's whatever. Like, don't worry about me. I don't want you guys to suffer. So she was kind of rad.
Yeah.
She was the one who, for a time, was dating Yuri #1.
Okay.
Where did she go? Okay, so she was, quote, she was very outgoing and energetic. People who knew her said that she was the engine of the university. She was full of ideas and liked by everyone. Xena had exceptionally sociable character, and despite her popularity in school, she treated everyone with fondness and respect. So even though she was kind of like the popular girl, she was like super kind to everybody, which is so sweet.
Yeah.
So she's like the sweetheart. All right, let's move on to Yuri #2. He's my favorite just because, to me, he just screams like Russian man. You know how we have Florida man? He's Russian man. All right. So his name is actually Georgie, which his parents gave him a Greek name for some reason, but they were like, I guess we'll call you Yuri, which is the Russian equivalent of Georgie. So his name is Georgie Alexeyevich. Oh god. Okay, It's just these. I'm so confused. Shelby?
Oh god. Schrnko. Okay.
I know. Did I spell it wrong? I don't think so.
Krivonishernko.
Oh, there's supposed to be an E in there. Hold on.
Okay, that would help.
Wait, I think it's share. Nope, that's another R.
Okay.
Shernko.
Krivonishernko.
Okay. So, Yuri #2. He studied construction and hydraulics and graduated. Wow. Graduated. It's been an hour. Holy shit. In 1957. He worked at Chelyabinsk 40, which was a secret nuclear facility, which basically was pre-Chernobyl.
Hey, just gonna say that is Chelyabinsk.
Thank you.
Chelyabinsk
40. It was something happened there where there's like this huge radiation leak, and he was one of the people who was sent to clean it up, aka Russian man, called the Shelby, the what disaster there?
Hold on, I gotta scroll down.
Help.
Oh god, is that the UY or the YY?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it the Kushtum?
Is it the Kushtum? I'm gonna go with Kushtum.
Kishtim?
Or
the Kushtim?
Ooh, Kushtim.
That sounds really good. That sounds really Russian.
We're gonna go with that one.
Disaster. Okay, here's the thing, Shannon. Y in Russian can sometimes mean you say it in English as a U, or you just say it as how a Y sounds. So it's very confusing.
So the letter Y is just a clusterfuck no matter what language you're in, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Everything's garbage and I hate it. Okay, anyway, there was this radiation leak and he was sent to clean it up because, Russian man. So Yuri and Igor Dyatlov were like really good friends and they went on most of their expeditions together. So Yuri number 2 was like the joker of the group, and he was said to always be cracking jokes or playing his mandolin, which they actually left in one of their storage caches on the way up there with some other provisions. So when they arrived in Serov on the 24th of January, I think this is wrong now that I look at it. It might have been the 25th. It doesn't matter. Yuri was arrested. Guess what he was arrested for? I whited it out so you couldn't tell.
Is it related to the mandolin?
Yeah, it might be.
Being a nuisance is what I'm guessing.
My God, you're so close.
Did he hit someone with the mandolin?
No.
Was there a noise complaint?
Yes! Okay. So, all right, Yuri was great fun. Quote, Yuri was great fun to be around, and on that morning he was in a particularly exuberant mood. First he asked Ludia for money so he could buy breakfast in a cafe. She was the group's treasurer and told him that they couldn't afford it.
Okay.
Blah, 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 skipping. In response, Yuri started to sing loudly, and the police were swiftly alerted. But Yuri was not only singing when he was approached by the policeman. He was also acting like a panhandler, walking around with his hat in his hand, asking for money. Quote, they immediately took him to the police station. The policeman told him singing in public places is forbidden. This is the first place where it is forbidden to sing, Ludia tried to find an explanation as to why the police took this approach. Quote, it's because this town is very calm. It's if it's already a communist era here. No crime, no law violations. And then our Yuri, actually what did she call him? Our Yurka started singing too loudly. Jeez Louise. Anyway, he gets to this train station and he's like, I want to buy, I don't know, a bagel or a muffin. What do they have in Russia? Some brown bread. Who the fuck knows? And Ludia was like, no, we can't afford it because we went fucking crazy the other night. And he was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just try to get arrested then. And he did.
Do you want to know my thought process for figuring that out? I don't know anyone who plays the mandolin who's quiet.
We're about to talk about one.
Everyone I know who plays the mandolin is
Oh yeah, he was quiet. All right, go to the next
annoying.
slide.
Okay.
Great segue. Next slide. Okay, first of all, look at these two bros. The one we're talking about is the one on the bottom.
That's unfortunate phrasing.
I love them so much. I know.
I was gonna say.
I just want a whole movie based on their bromance. They're so precious. Okay, so this is Rustik. His name is Rustem Vladimirovich Slobodin. Yes.
Sure.
I had it right, and then I got scared. Anyway, he's the one doing the hugging. And aren't they so cute? That's one of the other hikers who we're going to talk about in a second. It's Nikolai and Rustik, and I love them so much. I just want them to be gay lovers. Anyway, so Rustik was a man of few words, and Shannon, he also played the mandolin.
It's the one quiet mandolin player in history.
I know. He just looks sweet and cute. But he graduated from UPI in 1958. His parents worked in Asia when he was born, and so they gave him an Asian name, which is Rustem. So that's his name. I don't know.
Cool.
Fun fact. He was a really good athlete and a long distance runner. And he took really risky trips with his dad to like places where Russians were not, like ethnically Russian people were not welcome.
Oh, God.
And they'd just like roll up and they'd be like, hey, what's up? And they were like, get the fuck out of our country. Because it was always like, who's over there? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I'm too stupid to say it.
Okay.
Just different ethnic groups who were like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So on these trips, he established himself as courageous, hardened, dependable, and adventurous.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Rustic. He was very rustic. I don't know. All right, so the other boy in that picture that I love so much is Kolya. So Nikolai Vladimirovich, and then he has a fucking French name because fuck me. So,
Thibaut Brignol.
Sure, that sounds right.
I
don't
it's
know.
Thibaut. I don't know the B part of it.
But
I made that
why
one up.
would you? Why in this place where I'm already struggling so much would you throw in a fucking French name?
Yes, they specifically did that to fuck you over. Who knows?
They did. They really did. Anyway, he looks like he has the most fun of anyone. Like, all of his pictures are super fun. He's like, in this one, he's wearing a tarp and playing the guitar on a pile of naked men. So, in the mountains.
In front of a lake.
In front of a lake. It's very picturesque. Some of the men are upside down. Anyway. It's just such a good picture.
It is.
And I want to see a whole movie that's just based on those two. The really quiet, rustic, and then the really fucking bizarre Kolya. Like, what is happening? Anyway. So Kolya graduated from UPI in 1958 after majoring in civil engineering, and he was working in, like, a construction department somewhere in I want to put another E in there for some reason. Sverdlovsk.
You did it!
Okay, so he was the son of a French communist because fuck me, who was repressed by Stalin, or who was repressed in the Stalin years, but like, who the fuck
I was
was
gonna say everybody was.
Right.
It literally
That
says
should
that
just
in
be
my
a
notes.
blanket statement.
Raise your hand if you weren't oppressed. Liar. So he went on a bunch of trips with the university, and he was really a popular student there, based on this picture of him climbing a mountain with naked people.
I mean, to be fair, in the close-up of that, it looks like at least 3 of them are drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, that's just a normal day.
True.
And then this little French man is on the top. He probably didn't talk like that. I'm sure he was Russian. Anyway. So he was known for his energy, inventiveness, friendliness, and humor. And there's also this misconception with Kolya that he was born in a gulag, but only his father was the only one from his family that was actually sent there. He was born outside of it and like grew up in the town.
Okay.
Like normal. I can't say no. That just seemed like something I should add.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Sasha number 2, who for some reason, even though his name is Semyon, goes by Sasha, which why the fuck would you do that to me? So Semyon Alexandrovich Zolotaryov.
Is this mustache guy?
Get that?
I just want to make
Yes,
sure I'm on
Mr.
the right
Mustache.
slide. Okay.
Mr. Mustache, Baby, and Mr. Mustache. That is the picture you should be
Okay,
looking
that's
at.
what I'm looking at. We're good.
Okay, so he was way older than the rest of them.
I was gonna say he
was
looks older.
Yeah, he was like
He
in
has that
his,
same hat.
I think he was he was 38. He was 38. He graduated from the Institute of Physical Education in Minsk, because apparently they have that, in 1950, and was a sports instructor at the time of his death, which just makes me think, like, I really want him to be wearing like a communist Yushchenko hat and just like in spandex teaching aerobics. Like, that's just my dream for Sasha number 2.
You want Sasha number 2 to be the Russian version of Richard Simmons?
I really do. Except instead of crazy hair, he has a crazy mustache. How sick would that be? Anyway.
But also his little baby picture is cute.
Oh, we're going to talk about that
He
in a
has like a
second. Don't look-
mohawk. Like his hair is only growing in the middle of his head.
Stop talking about it! Alright, so he fought in World War II and was admitted to the CPSU, which is the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, in 1944. And he received 4 military awards during his service. He appeared to everyone in that group to be single at a time, but it was later revealed that he was actually married.
Oh.
And that baby that you're looking at is Sasha, baby Sasha, the only known child of one of the victims, because like everyone else died before they had children.
Oh, that's really
So
sad.
that's baby
Sad
Sasha.
day.
And
Baby Sasha.
fucking baby Sasha has his own crazy story, which I can't even fit in here because we are already an hour and 11 minutes in.
Do it
and haven't
anyway.
even gotten to what this fucking shit is
I
about.
know.
So Maybe someday I'll do, it's like, this is a bad comparison, but it's like the Lindbergh baby of the Dyatlov Pass is baby Sasha. So maybe one day I'll talk about him.
Oh, baby
Anyway,
Sasha.
so big Sasha, daddy Sasha,
Ew.
Oh God.
Papa Sasha, I don't know. I'm trying to, Sasha number 2, had a
Mustache
bunch of,
Sasha? Ooh, that's too
What?
many. Mustache Sasha.
That's too many.
But that's too many S's.
Yeah.
Musha Sasha?
Sasha the Elder.
We're gonna call him Sasha number 2 because
There we
that's
go.
who he
That
is.
works.
Technically, he's Sasha number 1 in age,
Yes.
but he came second in my slides, so he's Sasha number 2. He also joined the expedition last, so that's all.
There you go.
All right. So my heart just threw up. Oh my god. You said heart palpitation. What the fuck? All right.
Thanks for tuning into our first 3.5-hour episode, everybody.
In which all of us sound like we're high, but we're not.
We're really not.
Okay. What was I saying?
man.
Oh, he also had tattoos. That is very important to a later thing. So he had some tattoos. Moving on. This is our last person. This is Yuri number 3. So Yuri Yefimovich Yudin was the sole survivor from the Dyatlov Pass incident because he never actually went on it. He started, but then he had like a heart condition and he had a sciatic nerve incident. It's like, can't do it. Turn around. We'll talk about it. I feel bad for him because he was maybe in love with Ludia.
Aw.
Like that picture is those two together. They're kind of cute.
Yeah.
They look like brother and sister though, which is kind of weird.
I thought he was a girl, so.
I know, but that's
I think
him.
it's just like the way that his face is.
It's the hat.
Yeah, and the hat.
face
Yeah.
and
I can't
Look
tell.
at his hands. He has man hands for
That's
sure.
true.
My brain 100% did not comprehend that this is like an older version of him and then like him at the time. And I was like, he is way too old for that 20-year-old girl. So.
Oh, that's him in like 2007.
She understands now. It just took a minute.
I got there eventually. I was just a little slow with
Maybe
it.
we all are high.
I think there's something. I don't know. Anyway, he died in 2013. I don't know how old he was. I didn't look into it. Actually, wait. I could probably tell you right now. He was 75.
Decent.
So, yeah, he may have been in love with Ludia, but who fucking knows?
Yeah.
He might have just said that for the documentary he was in.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But he also was very, very hard about this. He did not believe that this was like an avalanche or an accident. He thinks something happened. So let's talk about what actually happened.
Okay.
All right. So next slide, number 15. Oh my god. All right.
Wait, 20
So
something
just
more to
remember.
go. Just keep
I
going.
know.
Ignore me. Just keep going.
We'll break it up if we have to. So remember that this was supposed to be a trip so that these people could become certified as grade 3 skiers and mountaineers. And they knew that it was going to be a difficult trip, but they were all really, really experienced. Like, they had all been on expeditions that were like this or harder. Like, fucking Ludia got shot in the leg, and what's-her-face, Xena, was bitten by a fucking snake.
Yeah.
And, like, they
I was gonna
walked
say,
home.
they're all already grade 2. They're just trying
Yes.
to go up a certification
They're
level.
just, they're just trying to get the highest level because they're like, wouldn't it be cool if...
Yeah.
So the journey had been approved and they had all been deemed qualified, so they were all totally capable of handling this. Okay, you can go on to the next page. So let's talk about where this is. So they were on the eastern side of the northern Ural Mountains. So the Ural Mountains are broken into 5 parts. So there's the polar, which is like way the fuck up in Antarctica. Wait, no, what's up there?
The Arctic.
The North Pole. The Arctic. It's confusing to me. Stalactite, stalagmite, same problem. Left, right, I can't do it.
Stalactites grow from the top.
I'm
Yeah.
done
If you
talking
say
That's
about
just
so.
how I remember it.
it. What was I saying? Oh, polar. Then there's the nether polar, which sounds like it would be worse, but it's the next lowest.
Yeah.
And then northern, which is where they were, the middle, and then the southern. So this is a quote from Wikipedia because I was running out of steam. The northern Urals consist of a series of parallel ridges up to 1,000 to 100, or oh my god, oh my god, 1,000 to 1,200 meters, so 3,300 to 3,900 feet in height, and longitudinal hollows. Longitudinal. Yeah.
Yes.
I knew that word. I said it like 18 times already. Whew, they are elongated from the north to south and stretch about, it doesn't matter. Stretch about 560 kilometers or 350 miles from the river Usa. Most of the tops are flattened, but those of the highest mountains, such as, it looks like telephone pole, but it's Telposes, 1,617 meters or 5,305 feet, and fuck this, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, they're really tall mountains.
Telposes, then the one you didn't want to say is Konzakovsky.
No, that's a zh. That's a zh sound.
Konjakovsky.
Konjakovsky stone.
You right, that is a zh. Konjakovsky.
Anyway, they look really funny. There's like a lot of weird stone. I don't know what the word is for them, but like stone croppings, like big boulders from glaciers and shit. All right. Anyway, so the region also has what?
Fun fact. I can't hear the word boulder anymore without hearing Donkey from Shrek going, "That is a nice boulder." It's literally the only thing I hear. Anyway, moving on.
No, that's good. It was giving me time to read this next part ahead of time so I can say it. All right, so the region also has elk, brown bear, fox, wolves, wolverines, lynx, squirrels, and sables, which are the cutest damn animal I've ever seen in my entire life.
They also make very good scarves.
Yeah, that's why they're up there. So
not anymore.
Oh no!
Save the animals.
Yeah, we went past What do they get? I don't remember what it was, but when I was in Russia, we went past this farm that was like for one of those animals. Mink? Maybe?
Probably mink.
But they were also like, they're like, that's where we get the mink bile. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Can't help you with that one.
That was where our tour guide Helena was like, yeah, we wish that everyone was communist again because at least we got a salary. We're like, holy shit, Helena.
Okay.
She just like kind of went crazy on the bus. Anyway, it's cool. So the mountain that you see in this picture. Oh, really quick, see Ivdel on that map?
Yes.
Yes.
That's where my thesis takes place. Thank you for joining me.
So
all right.
Very far north.
Yeah, this is just a picture of the Sverdlovsk. Sverdlovsk. Oh my god, why can't I say it? Oblast. That's just like that state.
Yes.
So it's not really a good depiction of size. Sorry about it.
Whatever.
So this mountain you're looking at is called, oh god, Kholat Sah. Oh. There's no vowels at the end. It just kind of tapers off in consonants. And it's not a Russian word, so I can't feel bad about not saying it right because I don't know.
I was going to say, that doesn't look Russian, and I was like,
it's
I
not
don't
Russian.
know it.
It's a Mansi word. So like the indigenous people up there, the Mansi tribe. So it literally means dead mountain, and everyone always takes it out of context. It doesn't mean dead like everything on there dies or is dead. Mm-hmm. It means like meager, like there is no food up there. Don't go up that mountain. Why would you fucking hunt up there? I already told you there wasn't any sable up there. That's what it means.
Yeah, like the mountain itself is dead, not you are going to die.
No, the mountain is like useless rock in the middle of the path. Like, get it the fuck out of the way. Like,
it's an angry lady being like, "You're an idiot. Stop going up the stupid dead mountain."
I told you, you're not gonna find any goddamn wolverines up there. All right. Whew, I just realized how hungry I am. Maybe that's why my heart stopped a minute ago. All right, go on to number 17. So, the party arrived in Ivdel. Oh, wait. Let me reread this. So, the party arrived in Ivdel, which is what I should have named my thesis. Sorry, that was really stupid. I wrote it in earlier and I was like, I'm so clever. So anyway, they arrived there by train on January 25th, you know, like right after Yuri number 2 was arrested. And then they took a truck, which may have also just been like not like they were in a car with someone, like they were in the back of a truck with like radishes and shit, up to Vizhai, which is the last inhabited settlement that far north until you get to like some other gulags, but don't worry about it. That night they bought a bunch of loaves of bread and just like carbo loaded all night for their trip, which I gotta say I did that in Russia too, but only because I was like, well, I know bread is familiar, I could eat this. Like, I don't know what it says on this box, but I know that's bread. So on the 27th they dumped Yuri number 3's ass off because he was having like his heart exploded or something. I don't fucking know. His heart was broken, literally. He had a condition.
I thought it was his sciatica.
It could be both.
It was also, they also said he had a heart problem, and I was like, pick one. Like, I don't know. So anyway, he was a hot mess.
I have lung problems and back problems. You can have more than one.
Shannon can't go to the Dyatlov Pass.
No, I cannot.
Okay.
Nor do I want to.
So really quick, let's go to number 18. Slide number 18. The reason we know all of this information is because... Oh my god, I forgot my notes. Shelby, you can look at my notes and it's gonna crack you up, I think. I hope.
Oh gosh.
So, the reason we know all of this is because the group documented everything. So Yuri number 2, Kolya, Rustic, some rando who we don't know. I wrote loose milk, and Sasha number 2 had cameras. What I meant by that was, so Yuri number 2, Kolya, Rustic, someone else, and then there were just some like loose photographs. So I wrote loose milk. Anyway, or I thought it was funny. They had cameras, so they documented everything on their cameras. And then Xena, Ludia, Rustic, Yuri number 3, and some other somebody, and then I put the group chat all had diaries. So like they took turns being the I don't know,
like the record
like the
keeper.
secretary.
Yeah,
and just like took notes and were like, today we walked this many kilometers and it sucked.
End of entry.
The end. What's his name? Fucking Yuri got arrested again. Okay, so after the incident, we don't know what happened. It's all speculation.
Yes.
However, we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead now. Pretend nothing happened. Let's talk about the 12th of February. So you guys can go to number 19. This is kind of just a map of the topography in the area. So before the group left, they told Yuri number 3 that they would return to Vizhai no later than the 12th of February, and then they didn't show up. So the sports club back in that place I can't pronounce for the frickin' life of me was waiting for their telegram, waiting for a telegram from Dyatlov, to say like, we made it, we had so much fun, Ludia got shot in the leg again, like whatever the fuck. So they didn't panic at first, the sports club back in their town, because expeditions like this were, you know, it was possible that they were just running late because of weather or whatever.
Yeah.
But by the 20th, the relatives of the expeditioners, is that a word? It is now, were demanding that a rescue party be sent.
Yeah.
So the first rescuers were from the Institute, and they were mostly volunteers made up of students and teachers. And I just gotta say, if one of my 20-year-old fucking idiot students went and got lost in the mountains, I probably wouldn't go after them. Does that make me a bitch? Like, I just feel like...
That's not your job. Like, at least,
yeah,
you know,
it's not my job.
Like, that's not your job.
I'd be like, what do they want me to do? Read them a poem while I complain about how my feet are cold? Like, it's not gonna go well.
Exactly. Your energy would better be used elsewhere in this endeavor.
Pick someone from fucking the track team or something. Leave me out of this. Anyway, so the teachers and students went, and they didn't find anything. So next, the army and the militista, which is basically like the local cops. So then they were involved, and they were searching with planes and helicopters. All right, next slide. Wow, there's a big gap here. What was I gonna put there? Okay, so on February 26th, the searchers finally found the group's badly damaged. Damaged. I'm damaged. I'm damaged. They found their fucking tent on the eastern slope of the Monsi's mountain, the don't touch it, it's useless mountain. Fucking disappointment point. Isn't that a place in
Yes.
Australia? No, it is actually.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to read to you, even though I can't fucking read. I wish I had some water. I'm very dry, a little parched. I feel like my mouth is making gross noises because I'm so thirsty. Okay. Everyone stop laughing at me. Stop it! Okay, so the campsite, okay, quote, this is literally just from Wikipedia. I'm sorry, everybody. I did do my homework for this part. I just didn't know how to word it any better than how it was already written.
Yeah.
I felt like I would have been leaving things out.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, what's the word when you
Quote?
recite something? No, it has a word.
I don't know what word
For
you're
poetry.
going. I don't know what word you're going for.
I don't know either. Okay, I'm skipping it. What the fuck? I'm just. Oh my god. I think I'm having a stroke. Okay. The campsite baffled the search party. Mikhail, Jesus, Sharavin, the student who found the tent, said, quote, "The tent was half torn down and covered with snow. It was empty and the group's belongings and shoes had been left behind," end quote. Investigators said that the tent had been cut open from the inside. 9 sets of footprints left by people wearing only socks or a single shoe or even barefoot could be followed, leading down to the edge of a nearby wood on the opposite side of the pass, 1.5 kilometers or almost a mile to the northeast. After 500 meters, or about 1,600 feet, these tracks were covered with snow. At the forest's edge, under a large Siberian pine. Wait a minute. In other things, it said it was a cedar tree.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Look, someone just doesn't know their tree varieties, okay?
So was it a Siberian pine or was it a cedar tree? Because those are 2 different trees, okay?
These are the important details.
I'm here. Shelby. I just went on a fucking rant about how I cannot.
You kind of
I
over-researched.
can't not have the details.
Okay,
Literally,
but
my
I'm
hands are
also
sweating.
kind of like, if you don't even know what kind of tree it is, how can I trust anything else that you say about what happened?
Who fucking let you edit this Wikipedia page if you don't even know what kind of tree it was?
God.
All right. Under a large Siberian pine or a cedar tree, who knows? The searchers found the visible remains of a small fire. There were the first 2 bodies. Those of Yuri. I'm just gonna put in my own because I didn't want to say anyone's last names again. Those of Yuri number 2 and Yuri number 1, shoeless and dressed in only underwear. The branches on the tree were broken up to 5 meters high, suggesting that one of the skiers had climbed up to look for something, perhaps the camp. Between the pine and the camp, the searchers found 3 more corpses, Igor, Zina, Rustic, who died in poses suggesting that they were attempting to return to the tent. They were found at distances of 300, 480, and 630 meters. So, do the math. End quote.
So they were all pretty spread out. They weren't, in a group all together.
No, we'll look at it in a second. They were, in a line, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're back to me writing, because I'm so good at it. Just kidding. Fucking kill me. The bodies of the other 4 were then found, 2 months later, under 4 meters or 13 feet of snow. And they seemed to be better dressed, which kind of suggested that maybe they took clothing off of the people who had died first, because remember those first few people were missing certain articles of clothing. But yeah, they were found in a creek bed, and it's really horrible. Actually, I didn't put any pictures of bodies in here because I didn't want to disturb you guys, and I accidentally saw a whole bunch on accident. But the people in the creek bed were in such a way that they called it a den because it looked like they were. I don't even want to talk about it. It was horrible. Look it up for yourself. It's called the den. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
So you guys look at this picture, and I'm going to read you something off of the Dyatlov Pass website.
Okay.
Because it was a very nice chart, and I didn't want to fuck it up. So in that picture, you can kind of see. Oh, excuse me. Oops. You can see the way that they're spread out.
See, this one says it's a cedar tree.
Yeah. See what the fuck. All right. So I'm going to read you 4 things. I'm going to tell you the name of the person. Oh God, why didn't I do this? Oh, here's. I'm so smart. I got an idea. Oh shit. Okay, we're good. So I'm gonna read you their name, their age, where they were found, and what clothing they had, and then their cause of death and other injuries.
Okay.
All right. So the first one was Yuri. Oh shit. Oh, that's Yuri number 1. So he was found under the tree. He was wearing underwear, shirt, no shoes. Someone else was wearing his jumpsuit. I'm sorry. It was Sasha number 1. Sasha number 1. Igor was wearing a different article of his clothing, and he died of hypothermia. So the next one was Yuri number 2. He was also found under the tree. So both the Yuris were under the trees. He was wearing underwear, a shirt, no shoes. Ludia had one of his sweaters, and it tested radioactive, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And they think it was his. They weren't entirely sure, but once they had like pieced everything together, they're like, we're pretty sure this is his sweater and it's radioactive. So he died of hypothermia. Then we have Igor, who was 300 meters away from the tree, right?
Yes,
Yes.
the tree.
Yes, the tree. Okay. He was very lightly dressed, no shoes. He was wearing a knitted vest. Why do I keep reading these other parts? I don't need these. He was wearing a knitted vest, the end. He died of hypothermia. Then we have Xena. She was better dressed than the other hikers, but she was not wearing footwear, and she also died of hypothermia. Then we have Rustic, and he was better dressed. He had one felt boot on his right foot. He died of hypothermia, but he also had a fractured skull, multiple areas of edema, and abrasions on his face and arms. So kind of like he had his arms up over his head and put up a fight or something. Mm-hmm. Then we have Ludia. She was found in a ravine. Her foot was wrapped in a piece of... Oh, come on. In Yuri number 1's underpants. I don't know why. Sorry, that was weird. But it turns out that that's what they thought at first, but it turned out to be part of her blouse. She was wearing a sweater that tested radioactive and was most likely Yuri number 1's. Wait. Shit, I'm so sorry. Yuri number 2. I'm talking Yuri number 2 here, everybody. The one who's Russian man who went to clean up the radioactive site. So she had major chest fractures, a missing tongue, missing eyes, part of her lips, and as well as facial tissue and fragments of skull bone were broken off, which, that's horrible. Then we have Sasha number 2, who's old man Sasha. So he was 38. Oh shit, I haven't been reading anyone's names. Oh well, it's okay. He was wearing Ludia's fur coat and hat, and he had a camera around his neck, as well as a pair of boots without soles on his feet, so he was like one of the few people wearing shoes. So he died of major chest fractures and was also missing his eyeballs.
And so, where was he found again?
He was found it says 75 meters away. He was found in the ravine. So the next 3 people that I'm reading you are all in the ravine.
Yeah. By ravine, and you may get into this, do you mean like
that pond, that piece, that water?
No, I mean, is there like a cliff is what I'm asking. Or is it just flat?
I don't think so.
Okay. When I think ravine, I think
say that
there's
it's
a
flat.
drop.
No, they didn't like fall into anything.
Okay.
Because remember, there's like a shit ton of snow.
True.
So
okay.
If they fell any amount, it wasn't enough to kill them.
Okay, thank you.
Because it looked as though they had proceeded up the ravine.
Okay.
As if they were still hiking.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So it wasn't like they fell and died. Like they got down there and then kept going.
Okay.
So then we have Sasha number... Who the fuck are we on? Sasha number 1. He was wearing just sort of... He was wearing somebody's jumpsuit. Who's that? Oh, Yuri. Oh my god, this is so confusing. Sasha number 2 was wearing Yuri number 1's jumpsuit. And he also had... Oh shit, sorry, I forgot to say something. If we go back really quick, I'm so sorry. Ludia was radioactive.
Yes.
So that's important. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Did I say
Yes,
that?
you did.
Oh, good. Okay, Dorsch... No. Sasha number 1.
Yes.
Is also radioactive.
Okay.
He died of hypothermia and had exposed skull bones.
Okay.
So, like, his ski trousers tested positive for radioactivity.
Did he have his tongue in his eyes?
It didn't say they were missing.
Okay, I'm gonna assume yes then.
Okay, then we have... Fuck, what is your name again? Oh, Kolya, the Frenchman. So, he was better dressed than everyone else, which kind of led people to believe that he redressed after everyone else died and, like, took stuff. Mm-hmm. And he died of major skull damage, multiple fractures to the side of his skull that would have made him unable to move. So, like, basically he was stunned, mm-hmm. I guess, or, like, knocked out, and then died from that and other things. So that's tragic. Any questions?
No.
The investigators officially concluded that they all died of a, quote, compelling natural force. We're going to get into some of the theories in a minute, mm-hmm. but how do you guys feel about that, quote, compelling natural force, and what are some of your theories?
Compelling natural force sounds like some Soviet bullshit for we don't know.
I mean, you're completely right.
It sounds like government bullshit to be like,
like, what is a compelling natural force? Like, versus just one? Like natural forces.
It is a strong one.
So
it did the job, that natural force.
So I know, you're for sure gonna get into this. There was that thing that came out that was like, yes, it was an avalanche, but like, I don't think it was an avalanche.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, like, it just...
Look, we already argued about
we argued about the intelligence of individual humans, not the actual results.
We didn't even touch on...
We didn't even get to the result. Like, I could see it because, like, I feel like a lot of the theories that include the avalanche, they say the tongues and the eyes are missing because animals took them. But you have already explained multiple times there aren't any animals on this mountain. So, like...
I mean, there could have been animals on the mountain, but there's, like, not really... No, there probably wouldn't have been.
Yeah. But also, what animal would take just the eyes and just the tongue and not anything else?
Shelby, shut your mouth.
Okay. Anyway, a compelling natural force, in my mind, when I hear that, I'm like, first of all, what does that even mean? And second of all, they died of hypothermia.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to scroll back in our group chat.
Temperatures were sub-zero.
Well, yeah, my confusion is how they got out, like, why were they outside? I think that's where most of the conspiracy comes in, is why did they leave their tent? Why?
Yeah, 100% the whole, like, compelling natural force. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because
But also Mothman is a compelling natural force, so...
I don't think they were thinking of Mothman. They were probably saying avalanche or something similar.
Could have been Mothman. I'm just saying.
Y'all seen that Mothman up in that hill? Wait, no, because we talked about this before when we talked about Mothman.
We did.
Because there is the Russian Mothman.
Yes, exactly.
Except it's like the crow of Chernobyl or something.
And they were very unsubstantiated reports with no humans attached to the claim. It was just people say this, but there's no actual person who says it. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This whole thing...
I want to read our group chat because we yelled at each other.
Okay, again, we were talking about the intelligence of the scientists, not the actual results.
Oh yeah, because I said, why were they orange? Anyway. Okay. Let's talk about some theories then.
Yeah.
Okay, there are so many fucking theories about this.
Yeah.
I just picked the ones that I thought, not even that were most plausible, because some of these are ridiculous, but I couldn't spend time on all of them. This is when I told you guys I needed more time today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk about the first one. You can go to number 24. The first one, wait a minute. Oh, was that, okay, so the first one is the controlled environment, or the KGB theory. So this guy named Alexei Rakitin wrote a book called Dyatlov Pass, where he says that Sasha's 1 and 2 and Yuri number 2. I know, this is so fucking confusing. I wish they had normal names.
They do.
It's like if we told a story. No, I know. It's like if we told a story and everyone in it was fucking named John.
Yeah.
If it was like John and Mary.
Yeah.
This would be everyone is named Alex and George.
Yeah.
I'm over it. They're not even named that because like
they all have different first names.
Sasha number 2 is technically Sealman, or wait, Simon. Fucking his name is Simon. And Yuri number one of them, I don't remember, is actually Georgie. So like, why can't you just make that?
Why did you use those names?
Because that's the names they prefer,
Okay.
Shannon. And that's how I wrote
Okay.
it. I'm not going
Couldn't
to
you have
dishonor
just
the
done like
dead.
Yuri K and Yuri D?
No, it's Yuri number 1 and Yuri number 2. Come at me.
Okay.
All right. So, anyway, this guy, Alexei, wrote a book called Dyatlov Pass, where he says that Sasha's number 1 and 2 and Yuri number 2 were KGB agents, and that they were on an undercover mission to find and destroy this CIA cell. So, apparently, there were Americans in the Dyatlov Pass area, which it wasn't called that back then, but just running around, and that these 3 were supposed to be like on the CIA side, and they were going to deliver them some pictures and some radioactive samples, and that something went wrong, and the CIA agents must have realized that they were double crossing them, and then like quote unquote eliminated the group. So the reasons why this could be true is because Sasha number 1, remember, got that weird job in Moscow where he was at that unnamed atomic institute where he worked at the top secret facility
When he was 19.
When he was 19 and couldn't function and work a microwave. Then Sasha number 2, remember the older man, he was in the army, and so he worked with like the NKVD, which was the predecessor to the KGB, and he had, remember how I said that he had a tattoo? His tattoo was like fucking cryptic, like nobody knew what it meant. It was just this untranslatable word, and they were like, oh, that's gotta be code for something. And
Or he just thought
also,
it looked cool.
it was just like a bunch of letters.
This is related, actually. So Allie and I, we send each other TikToks, and that's like our main method of communication half the time. There was one, okay, so, Hannah, you know this. I don't think, Shelby, you've seen this. So with Parks and Rec, there's that part where Ron gives Ben his will that's on like a Post-it note, and there's all those symbols. And Ben's like, what are these symbols?
The man who kills me will know.
Yes, and then Ron says, the man who kills me will know what they mean. Somebody got those symbols tattooed on their arm, and now Allie wants that to be our matching tattoo. It's those symbols.
Oh my god.
You'll have to kill each other.
Yep.
So anyway, he had like a bunch of tattoos, and some of them were maybe in code, and who fucking knows.
Cool.
Also, he joined the group really last minute, which causes some people to think that like maybe it was like the KGB was like, hey, go with this group, we need some backup, you know, kind of a thing. Okay, and then Yuri number 2, let's talk about him. So he was the one who went to pre-Chernobyl and fucked around there, which might explain why there was some radiation on his body, because he did pick up radiation from working there. But also they think that maybe this is where he got the samples from that he was supposed to give the Americans. I don't know. So TLDR, they met up with some Americans on the 2nd, and then the Americans realized that they were double agents, and so everybody died. But it's probably not true, because that's fucking wild. Like, why would that be? That, I don't know. It's too many little things.
There's too many variables in there, and like,
Right, exactly.
There's too much other stuff going on.
Well, and I don't know. That one just doesn't seem plausible to me. I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about the next one then.
Yeah.
Do we have any other thoughts on this, though?
I
guess?
do. I'm just trying to form them. I'm tired. So
yeah, it's a
Not
really
really.
interesting concept, but I think it's a better story than it is an
yeah,
actual.
I think that's
just
my thing. It
seems-
sounds like
and
it's out of like
obviously Sorry, go ahead.
it
Fight.
sounds like it's out of like a movie or something. Like it doesn't seem realistic. Cause like,
Yeah.
like who are these? I need names. You know what I mean? Like I need records. Cause like,
Yeah, like who were the CIA people who were there?
why
at the
were
time?
they
Like,
in the
that's
Ural
something.
Mountains randomly?
Seriously,
Like that's
there's
the part
there
I think
is
that's tripping me
literally
up.
nothing up there.
I know. I think that's the part that's tripping me up. Like I get that it's the middle of nowhere and that might be a good place to meet up with undercover KGB operatives, but like it also isn't, because why the fuck would you be there? So you're gonna be really noticeable to the people who are normally there, if there is anybody normally
Yeah.
there. I don't know. And I just feel like by this point, somebody on one side or the other would have slipped up and said something.
Oh, I know. We've declassified so
Yeah.
much shit that is from the Cold War. Like, I read it all the time.
Yeah.
I've sent you guys
Yeah.
stuff from it. I'm like, look at this cool It's not that I'm doing it to be like a creep on the CIA.
No.
I was actually using the information
Yeah,
for something.
yeah.
For my other
I mean,
job.
I've looked at FBI, like declassified FBI files for shit before. Like, it's useful
Yeah, it's fucking
information.
fascinating.
It's useful too. Like, yeah, I don't know. This one just doesn't seem. Yeah, plus it's a good way for the Soviets to blame it on the U.S.
I know, because that was
It's
their
awful
thing back then. They're like,
convenient.
what? We have a problem?
Yeah.
America did it.
So, I don't know. And that doesn't explain any of it. Like, there's no detail to explain it. It's just like, we think the Americans did it somehow, and then they moved
But,
on.
like, how would they control them? Like, there are no
Exactly.
bullet wounds on
Yeah.
them. Like, that's suspicious.
Yeah, that just, it just doesn't.
I
that-
know.
yeah.
The only things that were, like, wrong with their organs, which is gross, but they, like, tested them, and was that weird radiation. But it was mostly on their clothes, I think. I don't think it was actually in
Yeah.
their organs. I take that back.
Either way, it was just, yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, go to the next slide. So this picture is one of those ones that I was just talking about the, like, ones that I can never find of Ivdel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, I'm not entirely sure, I could be wrong, but I think that stuff, cause see that fence?
Yes.
I think that's Ivdelog, which is the gulag.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I think it might be, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's hard because why the fuck would they document
Yeah.
that? Like, here's our concentration camp. LOL.
Yeah.
So much fun in camp. So the second theory is that they were mistaken for gulag escapees. This to me sounds more plausible
yeah.
than the CIA stuff.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
On its face.
if you go
yeah.
back to slide number 16, you can see how close Ivdel was to where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still really far away. Like, that's still a long ways away. However, the things that make it plausible are that escapes did happen. Like, the
Yeah.
Soviets deny it, but, like,
Well,
escapes
yeah.
happen all the fucking time. And Ivdel was right there. So, Ivdelog, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how I can see it happening, but the reason I think that this one is implausible is because, even though there were a lot of issues with, like, the NKVD who ran the gulags and, like, all of the other kind of guards there, even though they were like notorious drunks who
Yeah.
slept at their posts, like, it was bad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they would have noticed if 9 people fucking escaped. You know what I mean?
Well, and, like, wouldn't they have had some kind of, like the hikers, wouldn't they have had, like, papers on them saying who they were, like their ID or something?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They had to have, like, a document that said, I'm on this trip to do this thing.
Yeah,
LOL.
so they would have just
Yeah.
asked for their documentation and then they would have moved on. Like,
And the prisoners, the Zeks, that's what they're called, at the gulags they weren't uniforms per se, but they all wore the same kind of jacket. They wore, like, this white cotton jacket. So you would have been able to tell.
Yeah.
Because, like, everyone in that group had, like, snow gear and was, like, ready to go out in the snow, and these other poor
And they were in a
people had
tent.
just
yeah,
Yeah.
with skis.
Like, if you
skis.
escape from a gulag, you don't have a tent and skis.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my skis at the gulag.
We gotta go back.
Turn around. Anyway,
And, like, in the middle of the night, really?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Do you see that? Here's another reason why I'm led to believe that this is actually a picture of the gulag. See that big white space before the trees?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They used to leave that completely uncovered. Like, you weren't allowed to walk there.
Yeah.
Because then if someone did escape, they could find you.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you took the bridge, you were in town, and, like, the townspeople would turn you in because you would get a reward. But that big white space is, the part inside the fence is called the zona. So just outside the zona,
It's
they would
always
leave.
called a zone.
That's
what it
know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oops, I went too far. Okay. So, what was the other thing? Oh, so another reason I don't think this is true, and a lot of this is my own reasoning and not like, stuff from the internet. This is just because I'm familiar with the subject, is that there were no bullet holes, and if the guards caught them, they straight up would have shot them.
Yeah.
They would not have cared. They were like, whatever.
They wouldn't have
They wouldn't have been like,
people.
let me crush you and steal your clothes and then maybe cut out your tongue.
But only for some of you. The rest of you can just wander and hopefully you'll die.
I hope you freeze to death. LOL.
Yeah.
And then my last thought on this, those fucking, even though they would have gotten in trouble if, like, there was a mass breakout, the NKVD would not be up that far looking for people. They'd be like, well, I guess they'll freeze to death. I'll just, get reprimanded by my boss. It's cool. Yeah, I really don't think they would have given a shit. Like, they would have been like, haha, I guess you'll die, whatever.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those, northern
Well, I mean, they're just going to assume that you're gonna die. Like, it's the most logical conclusion to people escaping. You're in the middle of the mountains in the winter in Russia.
Well, and so many people died at the gulags anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they probably would have just, like, written it off and been like, oh, well, they were out, like, building us a road in Siberia, and I guess
you know what they
fell
put
down
for
dead.
everything? They were like, he had a weak heart, and it was like,
oh, no,
he
they did
starved
that.
to death.
Yeah,
What?
they did that with a lot of German camps, too. They said, like, he actually, somebody died of starvation or disease, and they would put it down as heart failure. But, like, we
or,
know
like,
it wasn't.
stomach issues.
Yeah,
It's like,
their heart
he had
did
dysentery.
Yeah, exactly, Shelby. Their heart did fail, but what's the cause of that?
I don't know.
That's because their heart had no nutrition.
Yeah. Or it was ravaged
Their heart had no nutrition.
or it was
You know
ravaged
what
by
I mean.
dysentery or something. Like, yeah.
Because
you can't put he pooped himself to death. That doesn't look good on a certificate, Shannon.
No. And they didn't. Well, sometimes they did, but anyway.
Right, we're almost at 2 hours. Let's keep going.
Yes.
More reading. I'm gonna screech. Okay. Theory number 3: military tests with radios nodes. I don't know how to say it, but that's the word. Oh god, here we go, is what I put, because I literally I didn't understand this.
Okay.
So this dude, Vladimir Nagev, I don't know. I accidentally wrote his name down, and Shelby, you can see this because you're looking at the notes. I accidentally wrote his name down as Vladimir Bagel, so that's what we're going to call him from now on. Anyway, so Vladimir Bagel.
He's the Russian Zach Bagel.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, except instead of being a ghost hunter, he was, like, the head of the KGB for a while.
I mean...
And also
Tomatoes,
the
tomato.
Federal Security Service of Russia, so fuck it.
Not a very accurate comparison, but
But, close.
close.
Vladimir Bagel, Zach Bagel Bites.
They're the same person.
Totally.
Alright, so he wrote, I don't know, a couple volumes of... I don't know if they were, like, state secrets or, like, shit he just made up, and the government was like, whatever. We're tired of it. So he said that the Dyatlov group was participating in a scientific experiment of, quote, national importance. Quote,
Okay.
They were launching special purpose radio probes in an unpopulated area under the
Chloroprene shell.
Chloroprene shell, yeah, that's the one, of the balloon was a gas with... Shelby, your little clicker keeps moving.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to follow along.
I know, but now your name is blocking things. So under the chloroprene shell of the balloon was a gas with short-lived radioactive isotopes, 5-sulfur phosphorus. Meteorological rockets are known to have been used in the region. Oh, so on that mount, like near where they were.
So there's a weather balloon.
So yes, no, we're not there
Okay.
yet. But this Mount Oroten. Sorry, I skipped a whole
Torten?
vowel there. Is where they left Yuri number 3.
Okay.
When he was dying.
Yes.
So they left him there. So at some we're back in the quote. At some point, a missile must have hit one or more radio nodes and spilled the radioactive
I
content.
think they're radiosons. I googled it, and radio snowed is not a word. It's radio sonde. I think you got the N and the O switched around.
I copied that. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this.
No, I
fucking
believe
now.
you. I'm just saying.
Copied it from the website.
Okay, well the website's wrong.
Okay. But in the one that you copied from the website, it's radio sondes.
No, that top part.
Okay, the very
top one.
Military test with radio snows. But down here in the paragraph, it's...
I copy and pasted that part.
Okay, I'm just saying it was wrong.
Okay,
Anyway.
Whatever. I'm a fucking moron.
No,
and
you're
I hate
fine.
myself.
I'm just like, it's a
Let's
weird
just cut
word.
the whole podcast and start over.
No.
Whatever. I don't fucking care. I hate science.
You're fine. I just Googled this to try to find out what the heck it was, and this is, yeah. It's fine.
I would definitely... I've been thinking about it, and I definitely would have been one of those people who, like, would see something sciencey happen back in the day and been like, witch!
Okay, that's what I do today. My sister
confuses
says
and scares
anything,
me.
and I'm like, are you sure you're not a witch?
I discovered in copyright this week that I would be the person who says robots can't have rights, so we're all making discoveries this week.
I discovered nothing.
Let's move on.
I discovered I can't read. Oh, wait, I already knew that. Okay, quote. At a certain time, some highly toxic chemicals, sulfur compounds, for example, that enter a living organism are oxidized and quickly disappear from the body. Shelby, I swear to God, if your little clicker moves again, I'm going to scream. It is proved that the process of oxidation of process of oxidation of hydrogen sulfide in the body occurs very quickly. About 99% of the hydrogen sulfide is gone from the body within 3 to 5 minutes. A toxic chemical element can be detected in the blood only if the rate of hydrogen sulfide intake equals or exceeds the oxidation rate. I don't know what this means, basically, but not basically. I don't know what this means, period. Skip. Nope, not skipping, go back. The final oxidation process that remains after death, such as sulfates, quickly decompose and cease to exist. A coroner may not detect the toxic chemical. However, traces of its effects remain in the organs of the corpse. For example, pulmonary edema, expansion of the borders of the heart, mainly the right half, fullness of organs, liquid dark blood. Oh, that's a period. Liquid dark blood. The Dyatlov group had signs of damage to internal organs of toxic chemicals, including, organophosphorus compounds, pulmonary edema, changes in the borders of the heart, mainly the right half, plethora of organs, and liquid dark blood. One of the investigators said, oh, we're out of the quote now, this is just me, said that it was as if, like, because remember how a couple of people had, like, weird crush, what's that word? Injuries.
Yes.
Which is, wow, that took an incredibly long time. That it was, so they're saying that if this thing accidentally blew up, that might have caused some of those injuries, and it may have been, what killed the rest of them may have been that they just, like, I don't know, basically suffocated on this.
Okay.
Radioactive isotope. I don't know. I didn't really get it.
Okay.
I spelled it wrong.
Basically, it is this balloon thingy, weather balloon type thing. And
yeah, so the group was basically working for the government. They went out there, they had these balloons, they set them off, one of them broke and killed some people on impact, and then the rest, like, suffocated.
The rest, it was
to death.
because they, like, breathed in the toxic chemicals, essentially.
Yeah. And then maybe there was a cover-up
then
where people went back and
disappeared.
fixed it all to look like something else, but they died from the sulfur dioxide.
So where
I
the
didn't
Again,
believe
that
it.
all seems very specific, and there's no record of that.
Yeah, and they weren't, like...
And they all kept very good records of where they were and what they were doing.
Yeah, I know, but if you were, like, on a secret mission from the government, you wouldn't write that in your diary. Dear diary, the KGB told me.
They weren't weather people, though.
Yes, but also...
Yes, but they all worked at a polytechnical institute, and some of them were, Yuri number, whatever the fuck.
Okay,
No,
but
that
there
was
would
Sasha.
still be evidence of like those like weather balloon type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But here's one more thing. In favor of this theory, the skin of the dead reported by many witnesses was... There are literally so many missing words in this. The skin of the dead was reported by many witnesses to be of a dark brown color, which is characteristic of phosphorus poisoning.
They'd also been sitting in the snow for weeks. Months.
Just
like...
And the dark brown could have just been their blood.
Yeah. I don't...
freezing.
Why?
You don't have to believe it.
No,
I'm just giving you the theory.
Like, they probably had a not secret department. Like, these things are weather balloons. Like, they're not, like, secret. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... Like, they wouldn't be using them for any kind of, like, espionage of any kind. Just send your regular weather people to set off a weather balloon. Like, this seems like such a convoluted...
Okay.
It just seems...
It wasn't a weather balloon. It was just a thing attached to a weather
Well,
balloon.
I'm just using weather balloon as a shorthand.
Special purpose radio probes.
Yeah, I'm just using it as
had
a shorthand just to make it easier. Regardless, send the people who normally work with these things to set one off. Like, I don't see the... I don't know. That's just weird. And why send however many people to launch a balloon?
10, but then one quit.
Yeah.
And
Why
9.
send 9 people to launch a balloon?
For fun.
Yeah. I don't know. That just seems like...
All right.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
Theory number 4. Go to the next slide. This one I kind of half-assed because I didn't really feel like reading 3 pages of this bullshit, but I can sum it up for you in a very disorganized fashion.
Okay.
So basically this one is kind of along the same lines, except that the special... Okay, so this one is called the Special Forces Theory. So this one is that either the group stumbled upon a military testing area and were killed by, like, whoever was protecting it, so, like, either the military police or whoever, or that they stumbled upon it, weren't found, and were scared into the surrounding area by the sounds of nearby explosions. So, just that, I don't know. First of all, I think that those people on that picture are actually the British Special Forces, now that I look at them closer. They're definitely British Special Forces.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It gets the point across.
Whoops. It's a black and white picture of some people with guns. I didn't know. But, yeah, that's all I got for this one. It's just that maybe they...
I don't
know. I mean, it's possible because they were testing... And we'll talk about it, I think, later. Right? Yes.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it later. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
But also there might have been, like, some military officers who misused some equipment which the party kind of stumbled upon, and then maybe, like, they realized that stuff was still out there and went out and took care of them so that the higher up military person wouldn't get in trouble. It was like a camera with, like, footage on it of something, and that's what they say. I don't know. But the group, the Dyatlov group, was making like caches everywhere they went, so that they could come back and get supplies. And so they're saying that one of them might have been next to a military cache, and that if they found that maybe they would have to be taken care of. I don't know.
I feel like that runs into the same problem as the Gulag did it, as, like, there's no bullets. You know?
Yeah, and, like, no one else was up there.
No one was
there would
up
have been
there.
signs. Like, if they skied in or whatever, there would have been signs.
Yeah. Well, and two, these don't seem like the kind of people to get scared by that kind of stuff. Like, some of them work for the government. Like, they would probably just be like, oh shit, let's leave this alone, and then just be on their way.
Also, like, I ran out of bear.
Yeah.
Tiny hammer.
Yeah.
The tiny
my
hammer.
hobby
But
Plus, it was, like...
I'm scared of a cache of whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily that they were scared of the cache, it was that they were scared. So that's two different things. Sorry, there's, like, a lot going on in that. So if they found the cache, then the military would be afraid that they would find, like, a secret or whatever, and then would have to go and eliminate them. But the scary noises would have been coming from, like, explosions happening, because there was secret military testing up in the mountains.
That one...
But I feel like
Sorry, go ahead,
everyone
Hannah.
would have heard that.
Yeah, someone else would have heard that. That one does seem more likely than they were, like, physically killed by the military.
Yeah.
Like, I could see them, especially with,
But
like,
also, if the military is causing explosions, they're also causing avalanches.
True. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, that one seems
God, we're gonna talk
more
about that
likely, but like you said, I mean, like, what's up there that they would be doing this
It's
at?
just unpopulated.
Yeah.
Oh, the video apparently had... And I don't know, this sounds so stupid. Like, why would this be... The only thing Okay, so apparently it had video footage of the Mansi people hunting and, like, their hunting practices.
Okay.
But the reason that was bad was because the officer who shot... The military officer who shot the footage was misusing military equipment. So he was, like, using a helicopter to watch them
Okay.
run their hunting rounds or whatever. But it feels so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
why they wouldn't even have had, like, they would have to go by frame by frame to look at this, because there's not like a projector out in the fucking mountains.
Well, and it's not like they like what. Just logically, this does not make sense because, like, they left their tent in the middle of the night.
It was stupid.
Yes.
It was so stupid.
Yes, this one's dumb.
Let's move
Yes.
on. I really didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand why this is a problem, but
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. Soviet Russia. Okay, so theory. Oh my god. Theory number 5. Yes, that's a number 5. Oh my god.
We're almost done.
Is the Mansi. I don't know how you say it. Mansi. Let's say Mansi. The Mansi theory. So, what do you do when you're running out of theories? Blame the natives.
Great.
So the Mansi tribe was almost immediately called into question after the investigators were like, you know what, it probably wasn't those criminals down in Ifdel who did it. So, which also, I just want to say, for the record, Ifdel was full of political prisoners and not, like, criminals.
Yeah.
So everyone who was in there basically went to prison for, like, let me think of what. I don't know. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
Like practicing your own religion or
Not being
meeting a friend outside when you weren't supposed to. Like you got like a notice from the government saying you're not allowed to meet in a group because we think you're part of some conspiratorial thing, and you meet your friend for a beer or I guess a vodka, whatever. And almost everyone at that prison was Polish. Fun fact. Okay. Anyway, so they labeled the Mansis the quote evil Mansi hunters.
Ew.
Like, why? Anyway, so reasons why this could be true, and I'm only doing it just because I'm doing it for everything.
Yeah.
They had a chum nearby, and a chum was basically like their. I think of it kind of as like a Native American like teepee situation.
Mm-hmm.
It was like their temporary dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
They had a chum nearby, and so it could have been. They could have like come over and done something to them. They also knew how to hide ski tracks. They were like very good at it because they used it for like a hunting practice to make sure animals didn't know that they had been there. And the last one was that they were like a proud and secluded, I guess it should say proud but secluded people who would have been really kind of upset that the Soviets were fucking around in their territory, you know?
Yeah.
And so maybe something that started as a verbal argument could have really quickly escalated into a physical one. Oh, my throat hurts. Okay. So reasons why this probably isn't true. 1, Soviet atheists like to blame crimes on the spiritual Mansi. They were like, they're building temples up there, those fuckers. Like, okay, whatever. They had already blamed them for throwing a tied up female geologist into a lake.
Oh, God.
Just kidding. It never fucking happened.
Oh.
It was like some propaganda thing.
Yeah.
And also there was so the Mansis lived in like really harsh conditions, but there was no evidence that anything was taken from the bodies, which if you live in this really harsh environment and you're like, oh my god, look at those sick ass ski pants, like wouldn't you take them? You would think. I don't know, but there was no evidence of theft on the bodies, so that's probably it definitely wasn't
Yeah.
them. So I'm not even going to play devil's advocate here because
No.
I really don't think that they did it. Okay, next theory.
Okay.
Mushrooms. So, these mushrooms. Did you guys ever take, not archaeology, what the fuck is that class called? Anthropology in college?
No.
Neither of you?
I didn't. Shelby?
I mean, I
Okay.
did.
Did you ever have to talk about these mushrooms?
No.
This was like the first thing we talked about, was how people like the Mensi tribe and other people wherever these fucking mushrooms grow used to used to get high off of them.
Nope.
So basically, these mushrooms that you are looking at, I forget what they're called. Where are they? The agaric fly mushrooms. They are incredibly toxic, but if you dry them out or if you dilute them in some way, they can they give you like a, you can get high off of them. It's like a drug. Svetlana Ost in her book Don't Go There believes that Khanti, I don't know how you say it, it might be Khanti, I don't know, because it's not a Russian word. Hunters who took the, sorry, this is a quote, by the way, I'm so fucking tired, who had taken, quote, Argaric fly to get themselves in a killing mood, killed Rustic. So they killed, she thinks that they killed Rustic by kicking him in the head and then inflicting injuries by jumping or bouncing on his chest. Or on the chest of, sorry, Yuri number, probably 2. No, Yuri number 1. Ludya and, Sasha
Okay.
2. So basically, she posits that since these tribes knew how to make the drug version of this mushroom, that they took it and then ended up going on a killing rampage because they were so high. But I don't believe that. And then the second mushroom theory,
No.
because there's 2 mushroom theories, because of course there are. I don't know if you know this, but Russian people are fucking obsessed with mushrooms. Like, did you know that?
I did not know that, no.
It's like, they're fucking crazy for mushrooms. That's what they do in the summer, or whenever mushrooms grow. I don't know. But they go out in the woods and they just look for hours for mushrooms, which I think I would rather die, but that's just me. Okay, so then the second possibility is that the group may have ingested the mushrooms either intentionally or unintentionally, and then suffered the delirium and sweating with acute doses. So this would account for their bizarre behavior, if that was the case, because these are incredibly toxic. So they would have been really loopy and done weird things like walk out of their tent without shoes on,
Yeah.
and like cut their way out of the tent and stuff. But it's not known, because there wasn't really any, like I said, there wasn't really anything on the bodies to suggest, or not, like the organs to suggest that. Holy shit, we have so many more to go. Let's keep going. We have 10 more slides.
Real quick, wasn't it also like the dead of winter?
Yeah, but like if you dug around, like 6
Okay.
feet under the snow, I'm sure you could find a mushroom.
Yeah, they weren't looking that hard. Okay.
Okay, go to the next slide. The avalanche.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it. I literally didn't write anything because I thought you two were going to talk about it, and now you say that you don't want to talk about it. So I don't.
Well,
even
no,
know.
it's not that we don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm fine with talking about it. I just don't necessarily think it's the answer. That's it.
Me neither.
Like, I don't.
All right, let's talk about
like-
the most. So the most recent thing that has come up in the news about this, I'm literally crashing. I don't know if you could tell.
We're almost done.
I know. No, we're not. We have 10 more slides.
Comparatively, we're
Is
almost
that-
done. Go ahead. Just
Yes.
ignore me. Keep talking.
No, it's okay. Is that some fucking snow scientist, I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently you can be a snow scientist, worked with the Disney animation studios to make a algorithm that kind of shows the potential for an avalanche on the Dyatlov Pass people, because the people who animated Frozen did such a realistic job of it that they were like, hey, if you can just like put this in a program and run it to show us if these people could die in an avalanche, then that'd be great. So that's what they did, and they said that yes, most likely they died in an avalanche because the slope that they were staying on was at 30 degrees. I don't know if you can hear my cat fucking screaming in the background. I may have to let her in. Was at 30 degrees, which is the what's the word? The lowest slope? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like the lowest possible slope that you can still have an avalanche with.
Okay.
So that's what Disney helped them with, and apparently that's the answer, and it's been in National Geographic and all those other ones. I didn't read them. I just instead yelled at you about something else entirely. I have to let my cat in really quick. 1 second.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you. I was just about to say there's incredibly high possibility that my cat is about to bite me, and then she bit me. Before the words even came out of my mouth. Are we done talking about avalanches?
We didn't even talk about avalanches.
Oh. I just think that it wasn't an avalanche because an avalanche doesn't rip your eyeballs straight out your head. You know
Nope.
what I mean?
Or your tongue.
Or your
They
tongue or your
said,
lips.
yeah, well, they said in the article that it would explain because, like, some of the people had, like, those,
The crush injuries.
yeah, the crush injuries. They said that an avalanche can't explain those.
Yeah, I understand that, but like I don't.
No,
think
I'm
an
just saying
avalanche
for
can
other
hit you
people.
so hard on the side of the head that you're
No.
immovable.
Yeah, and it's not going to knock out your eyes or your tongue.
That snowball hit me so hard my tongue flew out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shall
like
we-
there's
There you are,
there's
never mind.
certain parts of it that it can explain, but it definitely doesn't explain all
Enough
of
of it.
it. Like enough of it, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Although in one of the articles it said that like them going towards that tree, cedar / pine, we don't know, is because that was like in the direction of the forest, and apparently that's where they had put like their last cache or something. And so maybe that's where they were headed to try and get the supplies that were buried under the snow in the tent. But I don't know about
Also,
that.
and I could be wrong. Okay, I have to throw my cat out. She just knocked over. Don't judge me. My wise men are still, or my nativity scene is still up because I haven't had time to put it away. Hold on. She knocked over a wise guy. She's not out of my room, but I'm gonna just hold the headphones up to my ear and keep talking. And then if she gets out from under my bed, I'm gonna pick her up and throw her.
Okay.
I feel like a DJ. I'm gonna kill you. You are so dead. Alright, avalanches? What were we talking about? Avalanches.
It doesn't explain enough, but they may have gone to look for a
Oh.
cache, but that still doesn't
Yes.
make sense because it was the middle of the fucking night.
What I was gonna say is, I don't know if this is true, but I think that if you hear, because like you can hear an avalanche coming, it's like
Yeah.
a big deal, that I think you can, if you get far enough into the woods, doesn't it break? Like it,
You'd think so, because the
Breaks up.
trees would break it up.
that's
Yeah.
only logical.
That's the thing, like in pieces it makes sense, but it doesn't explain.
Like,
enough.
that's the thing with, I'm gonna say most of these theories. Some of them
Yeah.
I think are
Some of them are
outlandish.
stupid.
But with most of these theories is that it'll explain like one portion of
Yeah.
what might have happened.
I
But
can't see Peppa ruining something I love, but I can't see her.
but yeah, there's like so much other stuff that it wouldn't explain at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I don't know, I get uncomfortable when people definitively say, like, yes, this happened! Like, especially when it's scientists saying it, because, like, y'all, you should know better than to do that. Like, we
right,
don't
like
know
it is a
fucking
working
anything.
theory. It is
Yeah.
not a definitive. It is a theory of what happened. We can't replicate it, obviously.
Yeah.
So like we're never gonna know exactly what happened.
Yeah, but then, at least from what I remember, that guy from that institute is saying, like, yes, this is definitely what happened. But it's like, dude, no.
Not necessarily that he said that. He just said that he thinks it was probably
I hate this cat.
the avalanche. He just thinks that other people don't want it to be something that simple. And I'm like, okay, but you seem to think, or you seem to want it to be that simple, so
Yeah.
you can stop working on it.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that he's saying that, yes, this is exactly what happened and I know the answer now. It's more that he's saying that, like, it could definitely be this. I just don't think other people want it to be this.
Yeah.
So they're not going to believe me.
They are kind of portraying it in the media, I guess, as this is the
Well,
definitive
yeah, in
answer.
headlines
Yeah,
for sure.
so,
But that's clickbait,
Yeah.
which is what everything is nowadays. So
yeah, so
I don't know.
either way, we don't
Also,
know.
I just think it's funny that, you know, this is your entire job and you had to go to Disney to get the
That was my whole
algorithm
point.
to make snow.
And that's when I started yelling.
Yep. That's when we got into a fight, so it's fine.
It was
And by fight,
fight,
I
it was
mean
just,
heated
like,
debate. We were not fighting.
Yeah,
No.
no, we were fighting. It was just
No.
like,
And
well,
none
I
of it was
think,
serious in any way. Like,
No.
in my opinion. All right, are we done with avalanches?
Yes.
Yes, we are done with
'Cause I
avalanches.
certainly am. Okay, go to the next slide. Don't just look at that. Tell me what you see there.
That
What do
looks
you
like
see?
an eye floater.
Shelby, thoughts? Don't look at the caption.
too late.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like a really super old and out of focus picture of a full moon.
Yeah, I think it looks like an
Okay.
eye floater.
To me, it looks like someone left the cap on their camera and tried to take a picture.
Also that.
That's probably more
back in the
likely
day,
than my
the cap.
theory. Yes.
Anyway, lots of people think that this is a UFO,
No.
and that because this is captured.
And this is coming from the person who loves UFOs and UFO stories
This
and
is-
UFO
I hate
theories,
UFOs.
and that is not a UFO. Sorry.
It's
I only put this in to appease you people because I fucking hate UFOs. I
I'm
hate
not
aliens.
a UFO person.
If it's not
necessarily.
Mr. Spock, then I'm totally opposed to it. Oh, my cat's out. Hold
See,
on.
my whole thing
Ooh,
is
there's a grease stain on my shirt.
She's digging in my chair.
like I believe in aliens in that I think it is statistically impossible that we are the only living beings
Oh yeah,
in this
no,
universe.
there's definitely aliens.
I don't think aliens are abducting people on the reg. Like,
No.
you know, and like
Would no, because we're the only ones perverted enough to think like, oh yeah, if we went to another planet, we'd stick a metal pipe up someone's butt. Like
exactly.
that's a totally human
Yeah,
reaction.
that's a human
to
invention.
The thought of,
Yeah, and like there have been like unexplained aerial phenomenon that I would be comfortable classifying as a UFO, like in a UFO, sense.
just means unexplained or unidentified.
Well, yeah, but that's not what it like means. Like, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yes,
Like
in
it
the-
means
in
an
the
alien
vernacular,
spaceship.
You mean alien spaceship? Yes.
Yeah. So like, and like there are some things where I'm like, there is nothing else that we know of that could explain this. Therefore, I am personally comfortable saying this is an alien spacecraft because like, what the fuck else is it? This is a picture of a white square on a wavy black background. Like, this is nothing.
It's
So-
someone left the cap on their
Yes,
picture.
that seems likely. Because, like, even in the
Alright.
background, it's solid black with these, like, lines of, like, gray kind of through it. Like, there's nothing. It's
Let me read you
It's
a
nonsense.
quote really quick.
Please do.
Quote, although seemingly incredible, this claim might have some base to it. About the same time, Soviet armed forces did launch several rockets from Baikonur base, although the military claimed the rockets landed in the North Ural Mountains. Several geologists 70 kilometers from the mountain saw some glowing and pulsating orbs flying in the direction of Dead Mountain on the day
night
of
in
the
question.
tragedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but
It
that's...
says on a day of tragedy, evening of February 1st. Which is why I stopped reading, because
Yeah.
even I knew it was wrong.
That doesn't explain bullshit at all. And that's different. Like, that's military spacecraft, not alien spacecraft. That's different. This is stupid.
Well,
okay.
unless they were, like, shooting down an alien, I don't know.
Yeah, but even then, that explains nothing. Like, there being an UFO in the vicinity does not explain anything about this case.
Alright, then let's move on.
Yeah. Rocket.
So, yes, secret launches. I'm basically just gonna classify this with the previous one.
Yeah.
The people said the Soviet armed forces did say that they launched these missiles. But like...
But
okay.
again.
This says it was on the day. No, maybe it was at night. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Either way.
Maybe there were rockets. Who knows? Okay, next one. Infrasound. This one, to me, is most possible. Like, I really, really believe in this one.
I don't think I've heard this one before.
I will now read this to you. like how I wrote it, because this is how I understood it. Wind comes down mountain. Wind makes big noise. Big noise make Russians monkey brain freak out. Freak out make Russians dead.
Okay.
So, there might have been these things called, it's called a Kármán vortex with a K, like K-A-R-M-E-N.
Okay.
That could have scared them so much because it's such a loud sound. Basically, imagine, actually, no, don't even imagine, because it probably was, tornadoes coming down the mountain at you.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes, tornadoes make such a loud sound. It's
Yeah.
it's the opposite of ultrasound. It's infrasound, so it's super duper loud. And it freaked them out so much that they just panicked and ran. So,
Okay.
infrasounds actually cause, like, physiological changes to your body.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you, it can cause you to lose sleep, have shortness of breath, and it causes extreme dread.
Okay.
Because sometimes, I don't think you can always hear it, because, some noises are beyond our range of hearing,
Mm-hmm.
but just, it's such a deep, scary sound
Mm-hmm.
that it causes something in you
Infrasound
to...
is like what they use in horror movies.
Yeah, that's why The Exorcist was so scary, because they totally use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just so scary. And so these winds coming down the mountain just moved in such a way that they made scary noise. The end.
Okay. That is the only one that's actually explained, to me at least, like, why they would have left their tent. All the other ones just conveniently ignore that issue.
Yeah, because you hear this loud fucking sound, and,
Yeah.
like, you're like, holy shit, we need to run. And so you cut your way out of your tent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to the next one.
I
Okay.
was gonna say
That one?
that if we're going for like compelling natural forces, it's gonna be that one.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is
Yes.
definitely on the top of my list.
Yeah.
It probably
Alright.
goes that one, and then the military, and then an avalanche. Okay, moving on. Look at this thing. See this? This is a picture from one of their cameras.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I thought this was just like a stock footage
No.
of a Yeti.
Nope. This is from this is from someone's camera.
That thing
I
is
forget. Oh, it's
very-
from Kolya's camera.
threatening looking. I don't know if it's just because it's fuzzy or what, but I don't like that thing.
So this is called a menk or a yeti, or maybe it's someone else from the group, just
Yeah.
far away in,
I was
in a
gonna say
shadow.
maybe it's just Sasha number 2 or Yuri number 1
In their snowsuit.
in their snowsuit.
Yeah.
In his balaclava. So I'm gonna read you a Wikipedia thing now.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. Well, maybe. Let's do it.
Oh my
All right.
God.
The menk is part of Siberian oral tradition. These beliefs were retained by the Khatni and Mansi people, even though they became or were compelled to become Russian Orthodox Christians in the 17th and 18th century. So they're presented as formidable forest spirits, and typically the hero prince can inflict pseudo-deaths upon them until he's able to inflict total death. Oh, is that my foot or my cat? Oh, it's a cat. Oh, everyone hold on.
What the fuck?
She's talking to Papa.
Oh. I just heard-
Stop it.
I love when Peppa screams
I
in the background.
know. So indignant.
Okay. Sorry, my curtain started moving and I was like, it's either a ghost or...
The cat.
Okay, she's out. She's gone. Thank
Okay.
God. Okay. Anyway, so the hero prince inflicts a pseudo-death until he's able to inflict a total death. Menk are protected by gods who intervene to prevent their deaths. However, the laws of the gods can be bypassed by humans. In the epics, Menk occur in sevens, such as 7 Menk for one mother or 7 Menk with one soul. According to mythology, Menk's eyes cannot look down, so the hero prince often attacks them from below while fighting in rivers.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I have for that. Was
So
it
it may
the
have been a
Yeti?
Yeti, is the moral of that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, number 35. I don't know, that's definitely, like, who took this picture? Kolya? Yeah, so it's probably Yuri number
Yeah.
2 or...
Probably.
Ludmilla on a bad day.
Or wasn't Kolya the one who was like really good friends with Rustic?
No, it was Yuri number... Oh, wait, yes. Rustic. And... You're right. Yes.
His name was
Rustic and Kolya?
Rustem.
Rustic. Like rustic.
Okay.
Rustic. I don't know. Rustem Vladimirovich.
It's Rustic and Kolya.
Okay.
Maybe
So
they had
it's
just,
probably
like,
him.
made out in the woods. They were taking cute pictures.
Yeah, them. Totally.
I don't know. Anyway, we're almost done.
Theory 12.
Okay. Theory number 12. So remember how Igor invented that stove?
Uh-huh.
So maybe it didn't work so good. So this theory is that the stove must have like sent out sparks or something and caught a jacket on fire, and that's why they were cutting their way out, because the tent had filled with smoke. However, I don't believe that anything like fire related was found in or on the bodies or in the tent. So I don't really believe in this one at all.
Yeah.
I
just
feel
put
like
it in
this
there.
would be a more hyped up theory if that
I know.
were the
I
case.
feel like
Yeah.
it makes
And,
sense that yes, if
like
it was
I've
filling
heard
with
this
smoke.
theory, but other people haven't.
Yeah. It makes sense, like, if it was full of smoke, like the tent, then maybe,
Yeah.
yes, they did have to cut their way out. But at the same time, it's like, but you could just open the flap and the smoke would be gone.
Yeah. You wouldn't
You're
need
not
to run
exactly
away.
stuck inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it wasn't
my
like billowing flames.
Yeah. My first thought when you said it didn't work very well was that he gave them all carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh,
And
we'll
they
get to
were
that
like-
in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Well, kind of. We'll get to something related to that.
Okay.
All right, are we done with this stove?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then the last... No, not the last one. Number 36, or Theory 13, I mean, is that they got in a fight. Like, either with each other or with someone else. Which, that kind of goes back to the Monsi thing, or the CIA thing, or the... What else was there? The KGB? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like a
Everyone,
boss
the
battle on top of the
Americans.
mountain.
Yeah. Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Also, there was like a thing that was like, or Sasha went crazy, but then I looked at it and it was like, it was actually a work of fiction, and I was like, okay, well, why would you fucking put that on your website? It was like rewritten as if Sasha number 2, so old man Sasha, like went nuts and killed everyone. I was like,
Great.
this is so stupid. Anyway,
I mean,
moving on.
this whole theory, again, like, why are they cutting their way out in the middle of the night, not putting
Yeah.
on clothes? Like, I don't care how much of a fight you're getting in. You're not
They were throwing shoes at each other. That was their main weapon.
Yeah.
right. Nah.
Mm-mm.
Nah. Not buying it.
No. All right, then this one is the Kabbadic winds. Katabic. Wow. Nope, I
Katabatic.
put a that's the one. Winds. Okay, so these. This is science. But I'm going to read you this nifty little slide I found. So at dusk, moderate to strong winds with whirling snow would have... So they would have, like, pitched their tent in a way that the vulnerable part of the tent is sheltered from the wind that's, like, blowing up the mountain. Because remember, they're at, like, a 30-degree angle. That's where they pitch their tent.
Mm-hmm.
So the top of their tent, like the upper part of their tent, is still exposed to the wind, but like the tent flap is not. So then later in the evening, these katabatic, yes, I don't know, it's a Greek word, wind would start coming down the mountain with the cooler ale. Oh my god. Then they got drunk. Just like me. So then these winds, since they are coming down the mountain, they're actually heavier than like regular. I don't know, it was something science. So anyway, they were able to like pick up speed, and mass is the wrong word. People are gonna be so mad. Oh, gravity. Like they can like, they kind of like roll down like a ball, this wind. It's like a really weird effect. But it's, so imagine like an invisible force rolling down a hill at you and just like hitting your tent. You're like, being hit with boulders, but they're invisible, but it's also wind. So, quote, this type of falling wind can appear when cold air over glaciers or mountainous areas starts to flow down a gradient. The phenomenon can be described as a ball rolling downhill by gravity, hence it is also labeled gravity wind, a wind that carries high-density air from a higher elevation down a slope. The definition of katabatic wind, which sometimes is also referred to as fall wind. Since cooler air has higher density than the surrounding atmosphere, the katabatic wind can sometimes accelerate to the force of a hurricane. The strongest of these winds are usually found on drops surrounding mighty ice sheets, but can also occur over cooler mountain areas such as the topography surrounding the Dyatlov Pass. So, even though it wasn't like a sheet of ice that they were on, it was just at such an angle and such a gradient that the wind picked up so much speed that imagine like you parked your tent that night and it was fine. It was a little breezy out. Then you go inside and a fucking hurricane comes down the mountain at you.
I wouldn't leave the tent then.
I know, but like if it collapsed and you were scared and you were like, maybe there is an avalanche. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you just escape in a panic because like a fucking hurricane's on top of you. I don't know. These two winds to me seem very plausible because they scare you. They're like so scary.
I was gonna say this one kind of goes with the like infrasound for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do know that they also included this one with the avalanche one. At least in one of the articles I read, they said that like that sheet avalanche mixed with the katabatic winds is essentially what they think happened. But
yeah.
Okay.
I could see that. I really feel like the winds had something to do with this.
Again, I could see it. It explains a part of what was found.
Yeah.
Because in my reading about, like, the Gulag Ivdalag, people would recount stories of, like, yeah, we were up on the mountain doing shit, and then all of a sudden these winds came down, and we had to lie flat on our faces, or we would die. Like,
yeah, like, I could see it happening, for sure.
Over.
Just everything after that point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's move on. So, we're almost there. This is almost a 3-hour episode.
I'm aware. This is an interesting
ready?
mashup of photographs, Hannah.
Yes. So this
is that a Wolverine?
Theory
I love Wolverines.
Yes, this is theory, the rest of them. So,
Oh.
one was that it was a teleportation experiment, one that it was ball lightning or a lightning strike, one that it was a gravity fluctuation, one that it was a fucking Wolverine, one that it was methanol poisoning from Igor's bad oven, whatever the fuck he had. One was Arctic hysteria, which I didn't really know what that meant, but I put that picture of that baby crying in the snow. I could have read about it, but I didn't. Also, I wrote, which may have happened to me on the beach the other day when I cried for Ireland. So, the other day, I drove to the beach, and I get this feeling a lot, and I don't know if, maybe I'm just fucking crazy, but I have a lot of feelings about Ireland, like, that my people had to leave. And so, if I go to the beach, and that's the closest I am physically to Ireland, and so I, like, sat in my car and fucking cried at the waves, because it was high tide, and I couldn't go on the beach, so... just sat in my car and cried for Ireland, and I was listening to Irish music, and I was like, I miss my country, but I've never
And
been
this
there,
was
so.
somehow at the same time that I was rewatching The Alienist, where they make all the Irish people corrupt cops.
Oh yeah, you sent that. You were like, you would hate, you should watch The Alienist, but you would hate it because everyone's a corrupt cop. And
One
I
of
was
them
like, don't
redeems
fucking start.
himself in the second season.
I don't want to talk about it. They're all perfect the way they are, and fuck off, and you shouldn't have written them as a stereotype.
To be fair, it was kind of an accurate one for the time. All the cops in New York City were Irish, and they were super corrupt.
I know.
That's a factual statement.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yo, we have one slide left.
I know.
Please.
Anyway, the last theory was a snowmobile.
Just a snowmobile?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't read these because I didn't think they were plausible. I don't know what gravity fluctuation is.
I know what
Wolverine
those
was-
words mean, but I don't know.
I know what a gravity
I know, but I don't know,
fluctuation
like,
is, and
how
it
that-
wasn't that.
Okay.
applies to a mountaintop.
Yeah.
I don't know what Arctic hysteria is,
I'll
but
look
it
it up, 'cause
sounds like something I would get.
I got it the other day, sitting in my car, frozen.
I don't think so, but
Arctic hysteria, it means, is a disease that affects people in polar regions. Oh, I think it just,
is it just that you're tired of being cold, so you go crazy?
probably.
Okay.
Does it just mean, is it just seasonal affective disorder? Because I got that.
You keep going. I'm gonna read up on it.
Okay, this is my last slide, so we can go to the very end.
Okay.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about any of the theories?
No. It is rustic.
Right. Yeah, but Rustic is his name.
It literally
his
says
pet name.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
pet
Rustic
name.
is what he
To
goes
the
by,
fucking
though.
beginning
Okay.
and read
I'm
it. All right. I am going to now read you this thing. So we're all done with the theories. Any other ones you don't think they were teleporting or had Arctic hysteria? Or ball lightning?
I don't
Or
think they
Wolverine?
were from the first page of Google. It doesn't seem like they were in the cold long enough to have Arctic hysteria.
No.
Because it seems like this is something that develops when you're there for like a couple of months.
I think it's chronic.
Yeah.
And no, it's a culture-specific
yeah,
hysterical
that too.
reaction.
It's only for like Greenland Inuit peoples. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay, so fuck
So,
that.
no, it's
Baby
not
And
crying
that
it's
is-
one.
been-
that was their version
It's
of it.
been
Yeah.
hypothesized that it is a way
Fake.
to like repress the Inuit women
Yeah.
Oh,
So
because
it's not
basically
that.
the women will perform irrational or dangerous acts followed by amnesia for the event. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there are like, I don't know if they'd be old wives' tales, but there's those stories from like pioneer times where people would go cuckoo in the winter, but that was just because they got like bored and cold, you know?
that's
But
called
again,
cabin fever, my friend.
That was what I wanted. Thank you, cabin fever. But like,
You're welcome.
again, that's for months, not a few days.
Yes.
So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So. And they weren't stuck inside. They were the opposite of stuck inside.
They were stuck
Outside.
and they died.
Okay.
Okay. So, in the end, 9 people lost their lives in a tragic and mysterious accident. I did it again. I didn't put a K in there. Igor Alexievich Dyatlov, 23, was the fair and brilliant leader who died of hypothermia. Ludmila Alexandrovna Dubinina, oh my god, I fucking hate reading, 20, was the kindest and youngest who died from internal bleeding from severe chest trauma and was buried on her 21st birthday. Yuri Nikolaevich Doroshenko, 21, shared his gloves with Zina just as the trip started, but died of hypothermia. Alexander Sergeyevich Kolevatov was 24. His birthday was on the 30th, and he shared the tangerine that he was given with the group. He died of hypothermia. Zenaida Alexeyeva Kolomogrova, 22, was the engine of the university and died of hypothermia. Georgia Alexievich fucking kill me. I hate this.
Are you on
Georgia
Doroshenko?
Alexievich.
Oh, I forgot the E again. Oh, I know why, because I
Krivonishenko?
copy and paste it.
Krivonishenko.
Krivonishenko. Is that a nice clean one for you to use? His favorite song was called I Love You Life, and after his death his mother took a piece of basalt, I don't know how you say that, basalt, and attached a silver engraving on it which read, I love you life and I hope this is mutual, which she kept on her shelf. He died of hypothermia 5 days before his birthday. Rustam Vladimirovich Slobodin, 22, was the quiet but adventurous one and died of hypothermia. Nikolai Vladimirovich Thibault, fuck, why?
Thibault Brignol or something like
Thibault Brignol, 23, grew up with hardships but overcame it and died of a fatal skull injury. Semyon Alexandrovich Zolotovsky, Tarvyov died on his 38th birthday of severe chest trauma. Anyway. The end.
Okay.
Well, that was a
Oh my god, it's been literally
fun
3 hours.
topic. All right. Our ending is that we have no ending. Goodbye.
I wanted to wrap up a little bit.
I'm kidding.
Well, I just read you something tragic, so I mean, suck on that and don't go hiking. Oh, here's something. Fun fact. It's now bad luck to go in groups of 9 on expeditions, like, around that area.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh,
That was really good, Huna. Long, but it was good.
I mean, it was
told
very
you I had my
fun and
feelings
very
about it.
good. It
Yeah.
just took us a long time.
Yeah.
I have literally been working on this for almost 12 hours.
Yeah.
My eyes hurt.
My back is dying.
Anyway, don't expect anything good for my next episode. It'll probably be like, I texted you guys my fan fiction of a ghost or something.
Well, I have my notes done for next week, and it's like 3.5 pages. So.
I
Next week
don't
will
have my
be,
notes done, but I know what
like,
my topic is. So.
45 minutes. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
this was... We still have no answers, which I fully expected. And this is one of those events that, you know, I said how after I die, I want to just go back and, like, witness events just so that I personally know what happened. This is one of those things.
I don't know that I would want to watch this happen.
Not necessarily, but, like...
Shannon's gonna be
I
sitting
just
there in
wanna
her
know.
afterlife and be like, "You're telling me it was just a stupid avalanche?"
Yeah.
Excuse you.
Also,
The
in this
creep
fantasy
goes.
afterlife, I understand all languages, so I know what's being said.
So you know the hot goss.
Yes. Well, it'll be useless if I don't understand Russian.
Well, you have time to learn it then if you can, like,
I mean, you're
teleport.
gonna be dead. You got all the time in the world.
Exactly.
Yes, that only helps for this one instance, though. There's so many other unknown things that have happened in different countries with different languages.
Yeah, but you got all the
So-
time in the world. You could learn all the languages.
Or they
Go
can
to
just
all the
grant me the
time
power
periods.
to understand them, which is much
Nah,
simpler.
that's
This
too
is my
easy.
fantasy afterlife. Let me have
Guys,
this.
it's been 3 hours. Can we please be done?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm tired of talking about Shannon's ghost.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast. Our website is thetriadpodcast.wordpress.com. There, you can find information about our latest episode, including the show notes and sources.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.